Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings are now second in the Western Conference after the Lakers' 112-103 win over the Memphis Grizzlies last night. Kings are currently tied with the Grizzlies with 38 wins and 26 losses. For more information on the Kings playoffs race, check out our Kings insider Frankie Cardosilli's piece on the Kings' path to the playoffs on SacktownSports.com. Baltimore Ravens have franchise tag quarterback Lamar Jackson after neither side could come to an agreement on a long-term contract. Neil Fregosa's got you all set up with all the franchise tag news on SacktownSports.com. And now it's time for Deuce and Mo.
Sacramento.
Live from Sacramento. It's Deuce and Mo
On Sactown Sports.
We are live. Deuce, Mason, Morgan, Reagan, Chris Watkins hanging out with you. Can you believe it, Morgan? According to my guy, Me Sports Burner on Twitter, the last time the Kings were the second seed outside the first week of a season was 6,904 days ago, April 11th, 2004. 19 years ago. And here we are today in March, late in the season, the Sacramento Kings are the number 2 seed. How are you doing, Mo?
That's the greatest thing going on in my life right now, Deuce, and I will take it. If the Kings can give me some joy to just keep on going and live, I will do it.
You're making us live right now.
Making us live.
It was such a weird night, too, because the way the Kings could get the number 2 seed last night was you need the Lakers to win.
Show.
I was all over the OK Lake show. I was all over. We love LA.
Like, I hate them so much. Like, I hate their fans. I hate them. They're disgusting. And last night, I was glad. I mean, Anthony Davis was bleeding everywhere on the floor. Looked like an AEW match.
His nose was like bashed in.
Yeah.
Dude, that was gross.
Yeah, but they got the win. So I'll celebrate it for 24 hours.
No, enjoy every single moment of it. Of course, Chris Watkins, his new show launched this week from 10 to 11 right here on Sactown Sports. And he's hanging out with us for this first hour. It is pretty surreal, though, that like the Kings are the number 2 seed. I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
I think before the season, the most optimistic of people were like, yeah, they can get in the top 6.
Yeah.
But it was like peaking maybe at 6.
Yeah.
Maybe if you were like crazy, I'm sipping that purple Kool-Aid feeling good, you're saying 5th. No one thought number 2 seed was possible.
No, I don't think anybody I think it was even debatable if you were to say like, oh yeah, the Kings will finish with 45 wins or a couple games above 500. It's where we're sitting at right now it feels like we're way ahead of schedule. I mean, this team I think was supposed to use this year as kind of a barometer of, okay, where are we in terms of how much more do we need to add? And I don't think anybody anticipated that you kind of already have a good enough core or a good enough selection of pieces. So it's incredible. Just absolutely incredible.
And now the question is, can they stay there? Can they stay at number 2? I think number 2 is going to be hard, but I think looking at it realistically, I think they're going to have a chance at 3 still.
Yeah, I think so. I think at this point, it feels crazy. It feels like we keep moving the goalpost up, but it's like, if we should realistically secure a top 4 seed. It feels like at this moment, Phoenix, I think, is scary, and I think it's reasonable to think that there's a real possibility that at some point they could continue to just rattle off wins and maybe catch them. But with Memphis, how they're just kind of in a complete tailspin.
I'm out, man.
Yeah.
I'm out on them. I just, with everything that's going on, there's too much uncertainty about Memphis where I'm just like, okay, they're going to keep dipping at this point.
When you say you're out, do you mean as just contenders or do you mean
they're definitely not contenders in my mind anymore, but
yeah.
I think they're going to drop in the standings. Like I go, okay, they were at number 2. They lost that last night, and I don't think they're getting it back. I'm not saying it means the Kings are staying there.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to slide a little bit here. I mean, that's a really tough situation for them with what's going on with Ja Morant. But from a Kings perspective, it's obviously these next 3 games are like a legit test when you got the Knicks. By the way, talk about the ultimate letdown game.
Oh my gosh.
Losing to the Hornets last night.
Oh my God.
And they were up like 16 in that game at home. I know no Brunson, but they had just beaten the Celtics in a double overtime game without him, and then they go back to Madison Square Garden and lose that game. Now they have to travel all the way to the West Coast to take on the Kings Thursday.
Well, you guys, I think that's what's been the funnest thing about the Kings is that night in and night out, there hasn't been a ton of games where you're super surprised that the Kings aren't winning. You know, if you obviously, if you look around the league and the national perspective, there are so many people that are more surprised whenever the Kings get a win. I think as this part of this Kings fan base, whenever they do get a loss, it's not like a huge surprise. It's more of a disappointment. Oh, they could have had this one, or oh, that team was short a few players. They could have had this one, but it's not as many of those this year as going against, even though they did lose to the Hornets early on, but it's not as many of those.
So any guesses on what the two biggest movies were? April 2004. April 2004. The last time the Kings were the number 2 seed in the West.
I'm going to say Anchorman.
Anchorman. That's okay. That's a good. We're going with like April 11th, 2004. He says Anchorman. Do you have Morgan's so bad at this? I can't even.
I'm just not good at years, you guys. Like I don't
Years?
Titanic. Like no, I'm kidding.
Come on.
I know that's
What
like
year did
the
that-
That's
90s.
obviously late 1998.
Is it 98?
I
I was
think so.
I was gonna say like
Yes.
95, but yeah. See, I'm always off a few years.
All
So
right.
2004. What do you have, Chris?
I don't know why this is my guess, but I'm gonna say Spider-Man 2.
These are great guesses. The two biggest movies. It's kind of ironic here. Okay. The Passion of the Christ.
Oh, my favorite.
I should have known. I really should have known that.
Coming in second place, Hellboy.
Wait, that's hilarious. The irony of
Thank you.
those two
Yeah,
being
yeah,
the biggest movies. That's comical.
Any guesses on what the number 1 song was in April 2004?
That I have no clue.
The number 1 song.
You got to think about the
Okay,
high
wait.
school
Let me think
04.
where it
Like,
was.
Yeah, by Usher.
No.
Okay.
Maybe that's actually a good one.
I don't know.
What about like Overnight Celebrity?
Ooh, I love
Twista?
that.
Yeah.
Great song.
Yeah.
Great song.
God, I listened to that. so
That's great
You
guesses.
single-handedly put it at number 1.
2004. Any guesses?
I am going to say P.D. Pablo.
North Carolina, come on and raise up.
Yes.
Take your shirt off, spin it around your head like a helicopter.
Yes.
No, Chris.
Oh,
that
I
was
was hoping
that
he was
was
gonna be
number 4.
yes.
The answer is Usher.
Oh,
yeah.
Chris.
You won. Yeah.
Oh my God!
That was the number
Oh
1
my
song the
geez,
last
I
time the Kings were
nailed
number
it.
2 seed.
What does
Chris
he win?
Watkins, who famously said, I don't like music.
I don't. Yeah. You
I
know,
don't.
it's,
I'm not big into it.
Not big into music.
Oh.
Doesn't like
Oh,
Yeah, I
music.
just like. Yeah.
What's that mean?
I just like don't listen to music like that. Like, I mean, I like the songs that I like and by the artists that I like, but I just don't really like seek out music.
Yeah, I
And, like,
used to more.
I usually listen, like if I'm in the car or just walking around the house, it's always podcast, like always podcast.
Same,
So I just,
same.
Wow.
What's
I
your
just
like
really-
go-to podcast besides Deuce and Mo?
Right.
Night Chat.
yes,
Great point.
probably Zach Love.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you like him. So you call him Zach. You're like,
Yeah,
Zach.
you know, me
We're
and
tight
Z,
like that.
you know, yeah.
We spent a lot of time
ZL,
together.
you know, yeah.
Mine would be We Watch Wrestling.
What?
Sorry,
Matt
going
McCarthy.
in raw.
Yeah.
Matt McCarthy and Vince Averill.
Going in Raw is on line 1, and they'll be at Sauce today before the AEW show.
Oh,
so.
I met up with Matt McCarthy and Vince Averill just on Sunday.
That's cool. What about Steven Larson?
I didn't see him there.
You're a fraud.
Yeah.
Casual.
Yeah. How about local, huh? Other songs that were big then. The other one's Chingy, One Call Away. I don't even know what that
Oh,
was.
man. He had more than one song?
I thought Holiday Inn. Was that him?
Yeah.
Holiday Inn?
What's One Call Away? I
know
have.
Chingy.
Yeah, and
I
then
remember
the other one
Chingy.
was
Of course.
Tipsy, dude. You know how many times Tipsy was playing?
Everybody in the club getting tipsy. Yeah.
Yes. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, and I know today is not a day where, and like social media is so fun to like celebrate. Last night, oh my
Yeah.
God, I saw people doing photoshops of banners, like
Yes.
our guy
yeah.
Jrue, the local
out
that
Jrue.
local guy who's going to be in with us at noon. I get it; it's not clinched or anything, but I think what I do enjoy is that Kings fans were just like, "Yeah, this is a big deal.
Yes.
Like this is." They may not be here at the end of the year at the number 2 spot, but getting there at this point of the season is massive. The last couple years we were watching, hey man, there's like 3 games out of the play-in. Can they get there? we need to have perspective of why this is such a big deal, right?
I have perspective. Do you have perspective?
I wasn't accusing you of not
No,
having
no,
perspective.
I
Mark.
was
Don't
more-
be offended.
No, I know. And the reason why I think I said it like that is because I know that you and I have talked about for so many different podcasts have talked about. Gotta enjoy this journey. Gotta enjoy this journey. And so, like, our perspective is there. And so I wasn't saying it in like defensively, but Chris, do you have that same perspective, or does expectations just completely change your mindset?
No, I think everybody has to like acknowledge that this is ludicrous. I mean, nobody would have Luda. Yeah, while we're talking
Usher,
about
yeah.
you
It
know,
all comes
lovers
together.
and friends, you know. Yeah, I mean it's crazy, and I the thing that I have enjoyed the most about us being able to enjoy all of the success is I haven't seen a ton of people being like, "Oh, Kings fans like being too loud," or "season's not over, still 20 games left," all that. I feel like everybody as an NBA fan collective is just like, look, like it's been a while.
We're just happy to
Let
be
them
here.
exactly, and
Yeah.
that's and also I think Kings fans, to their credit, have been great. I think we've started to maybe hear some championship talk, but I think people are kind of keeping things in perspective.
That's what I'm
Nobody's
with.
like, we're the 2 seed, like, why aren't we talking about championships? I think people for the most part,
For the most-
understand.
I would say for the most part, they
Yeah.
understand. Like, look, there's going to be some and it's also having the perspective that you're not the number 2 seed with like a 7-game lead.
Right.
Like, this is tight, right?
Yeah.
And Phoenix is coming. These next
Yeah.
3 games
It's a fluid
are going to be
situation.
tough. So I'm just appreciating the journey. I've said it so many times throughout this year. There is nothing like the come up when your team's been
Yes.
bad for years and the journey of it's great. It's starting to turn. I don't care about can they get out of the first round yet. I'm not even like, to me, it's about enjoying being present in this moment and going, wow, this is a fun time to watch Kings basketball.
Just the P word alone, just being able to say playoffs connected to the Sacramento Kings.
yeah, usually we say like play-in question
No,
mark.
and
Yeah.
not
Question mark,
even.
question mark, question
Yeah,
mark,
yeah, yeah.
multiple
Yeah.
question marks.
I think they were more saying like, I was gonna say placation. I was
Uh,
thinking of the word of
um,
vacation. with the
Draft
P.
positioning.
Nice, good. Any other?
Travel to Puerto Rico. I don't know. I was trying to
good.
think of a
Chris?
place with a P.
Verlot, anything with a P?
PD Pablo.
Good.
There
Yes.
we go, back to PD Pablo. Yeah, let's talk some more hoops coming up. Deuce and Mo, Chris Watkins. Coming up on the show today, we got Jrue, a.k.a. that local guy. If you don't know him, well, get ready. This guy knows hoops. He's going to join us in studio. And at 1 p.m., well, the guy that used to be known as The Big Show, Paul White.
It's a big
Definitely heard of him.
show.
He's going to be live with us today. It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
You know who that is?
I've definitely heard the name.
You have
I have 1,000%
heard the
heard
name.
the name Big Show.
shout out to the YouTube
I
chat.
know what
What's
he looks
up?
like too.
What's going on,
Yes.
Patrick, Tony, Rory, Protocol, Joe, Patrick? Some people popped when they heard that local guy was coming on. What's up, JJ Sub?
Love Jrue.
Levi, the Lakers fan.
I
You.
am absolutely 100% going to have to ask Paul White about being on McGruber.
He was on McGruber?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In
Great
the
part.
movie?
Yeah.
That movie was so bad.
You're an
It
idiot.
was so
Isn't
awful.
that Chris's favorite?
I thought you were going to say Waterboy, right?
I mean, yeah.
That's obvious, though. That's too obvious. Well,
Well, it's a big.
AW in town tonight. I'm going to be there. Christopher Ladd's going to be there. Talking Kings, who's calling the TNT game? Brian Anderson, Stan Van Gundy, and Stephanie Reddy in the house.
I'm gonna need a Mo's minute next break. Thank you.
You need a Mo's shape up because you're annoying me. So that's what we're going to need coming up.
I'm fine.
Come on, two hearts that beat as one.
On Sactown Sports.
Two hearts that beat as
We're two.
one.
I'm sorry? We're two.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard this song in my life.
Oh, you have not seen one of the greatest movies of all time, sir.
What's that?
That is, now I forgot the name of the movie.
One of the greatest films of all time.
What the hell is
Cinematic
It is
masterpiece.
called The one with Andy Samberg, and he's a stunt guy.
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod.
Haven't even seen it.
Never seen it.
No.
Never seen it.
As you can tell, I am
God.
awful with names.
Yeah, you're a
Things.
huge best movie ever, if you remember.
I didn't say it's the best movie ever. That's
one of
what
the greatest of all time. You said.
It is one of the greatest of all times.
Shout out today, International Women's Day, Morgan
Hey.
Reagan. Huh?
Yes, thank you for the love.
Don't you love today? They all these broadcasters like, hey, all right, today's your day. You guys can come in and do a broadcast together, all women.
I was so
Before you answer.
Yeah.
Sorry, let the man talk here. I just realized I just jumped in. No, you know what I'm happy about though?
what?
I know we're not where we need to be, but specifically in broadcasting, the fact that last stint you were here, it was like, hey, maybe you can talk.
Oh yeah, I was.
And
asked
if you
not to.
talked, it was like ask a question, and that's kind of been sports radio
Mhm.
with women for a long time. The fact that you're a host of a show is
so
cool, man.
triggering, dude. Yeah, no, and I mean, obviously.
You're allowed to have an opinion on sports.
Well, I mean,
that cool?
but the thing is, what's crazy is that like we had to create that space for ourselves, that
Right.
platform for ourselves to give me a voice. And by doing that, it's crazy what can happen when you keep believing in yourself. And there's someone yesterday I was talking to who she was having a mental breakdown, which I'm very familiar with lately, and just feeling like she didn't belong. And it's crazy that it's International Women's Day today. And I'm just telling her, like, no, you belong
Right.
more than anyone or just as much as anyone that is there. Like, you just have to believe in yourself. And so, yeah, these days and these moments are very important. But at the same time, too, I really dislike so many companies and different places try to make it a money grab or try to make it a PR stunt and go, all right, we've got women today. Like, why not have multiple women consistently on a broadcast?
right.
And like even
So
here,
you don't have to highlight. It's
Dude,
just how it is.
totally. There's just not even enough representation here. When we had the group meeting the other day and it's me and Simone has, a small voice. We got to keep empowering, building. And it's just important to keep empowering these voices. So thank you guys for always making me feel like an equal too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Cash
shut
grab.
your mouth.
Also, shout out, and I'm not just saying this, but it just reminded me.
Yeah.
Sac State women's squad.
Hey.
Big Sky Conference
Huge.
title game today against NAU after smashing Portland State. Get the hell out of there in the semis. Hornets
the
can
reign
win the
with you.
Big Sky Conference. And I
Dude.
believe that's an automatic bid
Yes, it is.
to the NCAA tournament for the women's squad. Stingers way up.
Yeah.
Stingers up.
I think
Yeah,
I
close
saw
it,
too that
close
they
it.
had like 2 or 3 seasons ago. They had 3 wins and now 22 wins.
What a turnaround, man.
Coach of the year. They had the Big Sky MVP.
So
Crazy.
cool. So cool. No, it's
Forbes.
it's great to have that. Yeah.
Forbes.
Yeah. Forbes calling out Sacramento as one of the best places to live. Chris and I are going to go with that's why so many players want to come to this city and hoop.
Yeah, their game tips off at 2 today. So
Interesting.
we'll have to keep track of that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is a trackable time. I'm like, wait, what do I have?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yay.
Dude, just close it. Maybe how cool would it be for them to be in the NCAA tournament?
Oh,
Awesome.
come on.
What are the lyrics to that song though? Like with the Sac State if they advance.
I'm a hornet.
Okay.
Buzz, buzz.
Buzz,
Yeah.
buzz. Okay.
Thanks,
Okay.
Chris. Good.
Well, we're definitely keeping our eye on what Sac State is doing. Wish them the best coming up today. Kings, get ready for the Knicks tomorrow night at TNT game at Golden One Center. I'm really excited for this game, obviously, and I know sound weird right now. I think I'm really tired, and everything is just.
you
singing.
sound
Yeah.
you
I'm
sound
weird.
fine. Just you know what? Embrace the weirdness, dude.
Yeah,
Because
no,
like,
I am. I'm definitely embracing it. I'm just telling you, I'm tired.
yeah, no, and we get it.
Okay.
Like I think, can I just be
we get it, Deuce. Like you're tired.
I'm gonna be transparent.
No, do
really
not do
quick.
this. Don't do this. I know Morgan's going, and no.
No,
Stop,
Deuce
stop.
Deuce works his ass off.
Stop,
And when I
yes.
say this though, like the amount of brain power he puts into prepping our charts for a Stockton game like
Crazy.
last night and then into a 3-hour show like a day.
Crazy.
I don't care, Deuce. And it's like his mind sometimes I don't even understand how it functions. So thank you for being human.
Okay, a couple of things real fast.
What? Stupid.
Tomorrow is International Deuce Mason
Oh.
Day. This is not This is International Women's Day. We're
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
hi, hey, let's praise the white guy.
Yeah, you
No,
can
we're
have
not
that.
doing that.
I'm corny as hell.
Yeah. Anyway, Kings and Knicks coming up tomorrow night at Golden One Center. I just feel like the crowd's gonna be pretty insane. Like when you think about how Kings fans reacted last night about being in the number 2 seed, I don't know that there's any other fan base in the country that would get jacked off their team moving up to number 2 with
on an off day.
Yeah, on an off day with so much time to still go in the season.
Yeah.
But I think they're really going to appreciate that coming into Golden One Center tomorrow night.
It's gonna be rocking, man. It's definitely gonna be rocking. Me and Chris were just talking about like when appropriate times to start light the beam chants. Might have to be one where we get it in a pregame. You know, a pregame light the beam chant.
Stop it.
That's you guys. I hate that so much, and I hated the last game when the chant started, and there was like
Chris is down for start of the fourth quarter.
he texts
He's
me.
a maniac.
He's like, I'm trying to get like the beam chant going, and I yelled at him over text in all caps, which I tend to do a lot lately.
A lot.
But I yelled at him, and I was like, stop it. And then I hear the broadcast. They're like, oh, Mike Brown is trying to tell the crowd to please stop the light the beam chants too early.
Here's how I look at it. The players and coaches kind of don't like it too early.
Thank you.
So just, respect it, right? Like just respect it. Hey, when they go to the free throw line at the game, what do? We're kind of quiet, right? Let them concentrate. It's the same thing with light the beam. They don't want it that early, so you don't do it. Now, if they were like, light the beam, then everyone get in on it. Sure.
Right, exactly.
Chris Verlod, start the chant.
Yeah, we're gonna get them to get into it.
Yeah.
See, I think they're also broken too. They don't have this feeling. They don't know what it's like to get to the playoffs. I will say this: once we do that, once Sacramento gets to the playoffs, maybe makes it to the next round. They'll know what it's like and maybe a little bit more swagger. Yeah, do get those beam chants.
Just wait.
Started early.
Just wait till there's a playoff game that the Kings lose, and they're on the road, and the light the beam chants happen with the opposing team. They're gonna troll a little bit. I guarantee you it's gonna happen. Maybe not this year. Maybe it's like a next year thing.
You know what? I love it.
Especially if they play like Golden State.
I love it.
Those fans are the worst.
Yeah.
They will definitely try and trigger us.
I was talking to Anthony Slater about a potential Warriors-Kings matchup.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I don't know if that's a great thing in terms of just like the home atmosphere, because he feels like you would, even if Kings fans are like, hey, there's going to be Warriors fans who infiltrate the building.
Correct.
They tend to have money.
Yes.
Warriors fans.
Yes. And some Kings fans who have season tickets, they might be like, I'll cash out on this game because I can make most of my money back and it'll pay off other playoff tickets, right?
Or your whole season.
I understand why fans from San Francisco would come here, because I went to the arena on Sunday and it is garbage.
You're talking
about Chase Center.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Amazon Basic.
Yes.
Golden One Center.
Yes.
A bootleg Golden One Center.
Have you guys ever been in the tunnels of Chase Center?
No. Oh, yeah.
It's a rat ton. It is a maze.
Oh.
It is impossible to navigate that building.
I was told, hey, go until you see the mirror and then do a U-turn to get out.
The mirror, even the mirror, I lose track of where I am at the mirror. It's all awful. It's awful. It's weird.
We do agree that a Kings fan that sells their tickets to what? I mean, if you're going to sell your playoff tickets, I'm sorry. We need you to
interview who you're selling.
Huge background check.
Yep.
We need to confirm that you are not a fan of the Golden State Warriors if that matchup happened. I think if you play like a Memphis or Minnesota, you're not worried about the random.
Exactly.
Like, oh wow, there's that one like Grizzlies fan who's wearing a Zebo jersey, or hey, cool, like KG jersey is here tonight. If they played Minnesota, it's just I don't know if you want the first round to be that. It's like I just don't want it to take away from the first playoff experience.
I just wish money didn't drive everything, and there were people that were like, you know what? No, I want my butt in this seat, and I want to cheer them on.
I can't even fathom. I can't even imagine how expensive playoff tickets are going to be in Sacramento.
That's what I was trying to think. I know, like I have a couple friends who are season ticket holders, and they were telling me, I think it was Jason Ross actually was telling me too, that he checked the prices, and on like one of the Warrior games or Laker games earlier in the season, it's like lower levels, like $500-$600 resale. So I can imagine come playoff time, that's going to be like an $800.
I went to
for a nice lower level seat.
When I was in high school and I was working at KFC,
looking.
Oh, dude, I could cook chicken. I bought a playoff ticket, one playoff ticket, I went by myself, sat in the very last row of Arco
Love
for
that.
a Kings
How much
Mavs
was
game.
it?
Those are great.
I want to say it was like 25, 30, but it was like the
Wow.
final row. I think they even
Yeah.
added a couple, it was like a makeshift row up there.
That top
I
golf
had
course
the
is-
time of my life. Though.
Standing rooms at Golden One Center too now.
They're
So
pretty good too, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm pretty sure it's at the top of the lower bowl, right?
yeah, Frankie's mom was there. I was waving at her, blowing
Mhm.
her kisses. They're so perfect.
Hey, coming up next, I can't believe we're even having this conversation. I'm sure. Are you uncomfortable with it that we're talking about? Like, hey, how much are playoff tickets going to cost when they haven't technically clinched? Are you okay? I know you don't like jinxes.
Hey, okay, we'll talk about it next. Okay.
All right, we got truth or trash coming up too. I've got a truth or trash one that for you guys to think about during the break. It's time for the 49ers to go after Lamar Jackson.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
That's
Well,
coming up
segment
next.
ruined.
We'll have some Kings too. It's Deuce and Mo alongside Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports, 1140 and SactownSports.com.
Deuce, I didn't see that one. I love that idea.
What?
Lamar Jackson.
I know it's very
with the Niners.
complicated. It's very
Okay,
complicated.
okay.
That's tough.
Okay, but really quick, yes.
Tell them to hit the thumbs up.
Oh.
I can't handle them
Hi.
today.
Oh my God, there's only 66 thumbs up.
Oof.
Do you even want the Kings to make the playoffs?
No, do you even like us?
do you-
That's the question. That is
well,
really the
no.
question.
If we know how you feel about Deuce, do you like me? Hit the thumbs up, please. Thank you for being here, everybody. And oh my God, oh my God, thank you.
Is this a Mo's minute?
Yes. We're all gonna do this together, Chris, and Deuce.
I don't want to.
Shh. Welcome to another Mo's Minute. Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed with an anxiety attack?
What's it mean? Like the wrong? Like
Meaning you have an anxiety attack? You have to put your hands over your head and take a breath? Well, let's all do it together now. We're a team. We're in this together. We can all make it through. Ready? In through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel it in your core. Ready? No.
Yep.
Sit.
Okay.
Good. I can't make him. He's annoying. Ready? 3, 2. Weak. I want you to like.
I got a dragon breath.
Yes,
there.
like a
Okay, gotcha,
yoga
gotcha. My bad.
gross. Okay,
Okay,
ready?
my bad.
3, 2. Doesn't that feel good?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been another Mo's Minute.
Can we get that sponsored, please?
We were trying,
Got to.
but you know what you gonna do.
do this,
Maybe
Chris.
we do it at 11:40 every day.
Hey!
Honestly?
There we go. There's
I like
the
it.
thing we do. King's Film
Thing
Room.
we do.
Sorry, King's Film Room just tweeted this out
They
are.
a year ago today. The Kings were in Boston with 1:23 to go in the fourth quarter. They were down 128-68.
Oh, this is that game. That's
Wow.
probably my least favorite Kings game I think I've ever watched.
I think I blacked that out.
What
Yeah,
about
that was
Nets
terrible.
Loss?
What's up?
What about that Nets loss?
See,
Oh, the D'Angelo Russell game?
Yeah.
this was more.
that was physically painful to watch with my eyes, but
I think I really do block out these losses because I remember the
I remember
score.
that one.
Wait,
But I
That was
don't-
on the road. I remember De'Aaron didn't play. I remember Buddy and Tyrese playing,
March
not
8th.
playing well, but
why don't I see that on Basketball Reference? Was that? Are we sure that was a year ago, or is that a couple years ago?
I did see this yesterday on Twitter that
I don't know if that was a year ago.
March 7th today, we're
Yeah.
obviously 36-26, number 2 seed. Last year on March 7th, 2022, the Kings were 24-43, the 13th seed in the Western Conference.
Wow. And look, we're Houston and Oklahoma City.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, that was So someone was saying that was not a year ago. Yeah, I looked it up. It was not a year ago. Yeah, you're right, Tyler. Duh. We had, see, this is where I'm tired. Sabonis. We have not had a game like that post Sabonis.
No.
Dude, there's this one guy. I think he listens to the show, but I think he's a Lakers fan. And it's so funny. He got mad. He got mad at me yesterday too because we did a instant reaction. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was just like, thank you, Lakers. Just like trolling. Like, why
Yeah.
not? This is fun. And he just got so mad. He's like, hate Lakers and they're disgusting fans because they won since the 70s and they're loud and proud. Well, too damn bad. You know why your fans are hated? They get hyped because of 38 wins. That's Disgusting moron. Digest this.
Hey.
Sack will never win a chip.
Dude, I know who that
Basketball
guy
hell.
is. So someone else, like he used to.
I thought he
me all
was
the time.
joking.
I muted him like a year ago.
I kind of want to keep him because it's funny. Like, that's funny.
Just know if you troll me now and you're like, God, Deuce isn't answering anymore.
You just get muted.
You got muted.
Same.
I will not.
I will
It's
not
very
block
healthy.
you.
It
It's
really
so
is.
healthy.
It's so healthy.
And I used to really like go back and forth with people, and
Yes.
not
that
because,
is the opposite.
but not because
It's
I
not
wanted
healthy.
to debate. I was just trying to get like on some like, hey,
Yeah, a
we're
level
cool.
ground,
Like, let's
right,
just
yes,
talk.
totally.
Like,
I
we're
feel that.
good. Like
Yeah.
we can have a conversation. We can disagree.
Yeah.
But then I realized some
What's the
people,
point?
just most people that are going at you like
Yeah.
that, they don't want that.
This is entertainment.
The
though.
only way to talk to a troll is to out troll them. You have to say something even more outrageous than they're saying. And they're like, huh, that's crazy. Why would you think that? This is insane. I'm going to stop
Professional
talking
troll.
to you.
This is
Yeah.
also spoken by a professional
Well,
troll.
like yesterday, there's a guy in our Discord named Jrue who just loves Julius Randle, and Julius Randle 5 of 17 yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look, if you put Metu on the Knicks instead of Randle, they're the same team.
What?
It's a troll job.
Yeah,
All
I was
right.
like,
I was like, I don't know about that.
what is he saying?
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings are now second in the Western Conference after the Lakers' 112-103 win over the Memphis Grizzlies last night. Kings are currently tied with the Grizzlies with 38 wins and 26 losses. For more information on the Kings playoffs race, check out our Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli's piece on the Kings' path to the playoffs on SactownSports.com. Baltimore Ravens have franchise tag quarterback Lamar Jackson after neither side could come to an agreement on a long-term contract. For more information on all the franchise tag news, check out our guy, Emil Fergosa, on SactownSports.com. And now more of Deuce and Mo with Chris Watkins.
I get it. It takes two seed.
Thank you.
Chris is on fire with this today.
How many more songs are you? Do you have some
just one
lined
more.
up? Or are you,
Just
okay,
one.
I was like,
That's all you have?
I can do more, but
Do more.
we're going to have guests. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Guests and all. I don't care.
Paul White, aka Big Show. I heard he's pretty jacked up about where the Kings are right now, the number 2 seed.
Well, they're in the 2 seed.
Yeah.
He starts crying. Wrestling fans know Big Show cries a lot. Chris, God, thank you. Thanks. No, okay. It's honestly too bad that you're not a wrestling fan.
yeah,
Your
I,
life
I would be perfect if
because
I was.
everything you like about the NBA, there's so much in common with wrestling. So
I
it's
do
fun.
really love drama as well. Like
Yeah.
I do enjoy like I don't watch like too dramatic of TV, but I definitely watch like MTV Real World and that kind
Oh,
of
see,
stuff.
reality TV and wrestling.
Yes,
Dude,
they are. They
are
are
hand in
definitely.
hand.
There's definitely no difference. And yeah.
Teen Mom.
Oh.
Back in the day,
Dramatic.
great show.
Yeah, it was.
love reality television right now, especially. And anyone that's watching Vanderpump Rules, I haven't had time to watch it, but all this drama is going on. And that's the sucky part about social media is that I'm seeing all of it.
I think I even saw some
Right.
stuff about it.
Right. And I'm just going to binge on Sunday on my day off. Like all day.
Good. Good for you, man.
Vitamin and go.
Let's go. You know what? I think it's time for a little truth or trash.
We tell you what's real and what's downright garbage. It's truth or trash
Truth or trash.
with Deuce and Mo.
I'm so glad the voice guy explained how it works. It's a very complicated thing we do. Truth or trash.
Tough concept.
There's a statement. We tell you if it's truth or trash. You can submit your own. Appreciate you guys hanging out on the YouTube feed, youtube.com/SactownSports1140, where we stay live the entire show. Hit the thumbs up. It just helps us grow. Celebrating the Kings being the number 2 seed. I'm going to start with this on truth or trash. The Kings have a good shot at staying in the number 2 seed. Truth or trash?
I think that's true.
What?
I think that's true.
Chance?
Okay, I didn't hear a good chance. I
What?
hear.
He heard what he wanted to
I
hear.
heard what
Yeah.
I wanted to hear.
Of course
I heard
they've got a chance.
I think that they have a decent shot for sure. I think good. I'm not willing to go good because good feels like it's more likely than not, but I really just have a tough time getting the Phoenix Suns out of my head.
You know what? screw it. I've been being way too realistic all season long. I'm just going to go with truth because they, time after time after time, have proved me wrong. Prove me wrong. They literally, like you talked about to start the show, beginning of the season, no one would have expected them to be here. No one would have expected their team to be able to execute what they've been able to do against other teams this quickly, develop this quickly. So yeah, truth.
Own it, honey.
Thank you.
The NBA world is being heated up right now by the sun. Like the planet
Phoenicians?
Earth, the Suns, Phoenix Suns. Yeah, we're striking out today.
Yeah.
We're striking out today, and it's fine. Here's what I have to do. I have to get shots up. I have to get shots up. I'm going to take shots, even if they're bad ones. I just need to see one going.
Julius Randle.
Thank you.
There we
Julius
go.
Randle was 5 of 17, but against Miami, when Jimmy Butler was digging for that ball,
Game winner.
boom, bucket,
Most ridiculous shot
4
I've seen someone take all year.
Tom Thibodeau was pissed.
Yeah.
He was like, "What are you? That was not the play."
Rightfully so.
All right, I'm gonna say trash. I don't think they have a good chance, and it's not me being negative at all. I just think the Suns, they're 3-0 since Durant got there.
Yeah.
They are legit, and I'm okay with it. Like, it doesn't
Yeah,
mean if the
it's not
Kings
a
get
negative.
number 2 that they're trash and they're gonna drop out. I just think the Suns are coming, and it's.
You guys, I don't even care if the Kings drop to 6, honestly. Like, if it happened, it happened.
I think I would care.
No.
I would care a little
Stop. It's because your expectations have gone far too high. And that's the thing. I think a lot of us, like as I just said, I'm going to stop being realistic as I go back to being realistic with this, because it's truly one of those things where the Kings have done such a good job building that padding. It would be pretty close to impossible to drop to 6 in the Western Conference.
That's where I'm at. See, that's where, like, I know what you're saying. It's like, no, I'd just be happy for them to be there. But if they drop to 6, that means, they have a 5-game lead on the 5th and 6th spot right now.
I
so
think
that'd be
both
a
things
dramatic
could be
fall
true,
off,
where
and
it's like you could take the outside perspective and be like, this was a successful season, but at the same time,
that was a collapse.
That ending was not great. I think we can all acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Just talking about this honestly makes me so nervous. I don't like it.
The thing about them staying in 2, and I know it's likely not going to happen, that it probably, if all things went the way I think it would be, and the Clippers kind of stayed where they're at, Clippers win the play, and they have to take on the Clippers in the first round.
I don't want that. I really don't like playing Minnesota either. I've heard a lot of people pretty much say either Minnesota or Dallas. We've talked about Dallas before, but Minnesota, I don't want to touch.
I think they pose a lot of problems for the Kings, but I also think they'd have it.
They'd have a shot. It's not,
The teams I don't want to see, Denver, Phoenix,
Golden State.
I'm not scared of the
Really?
Warriors. Dude.
Okay. That's fair. I think that's fair.
We're going to have an honest.
Let's do it.
Let's do it on the
Let's
Warriors
do it.
right now.
Let's
I'm looking
do
at
it.
the camera for this.
Yeah, do it.
I understand, and I get in this debate all the time. Hey, they're the defending champs. Hey, you just you can't count them out. Win some road games. They're 7-25 on the road. All I keep hearing is like, hey man, it's the Warriors. They're gonna get it going. They're 7-25, and let's really look at this. They haven't been the same since that Draymond punch. And last night in that game, when Jordan Poole did not pass Draymond the ball, Draymond jumped up and down pouting, and then walked away from the play when the OKC Thunder had the ball in transition.
Yep.
The team, I know how good Steph is, and I respect him. I admire Clay. I respect what they've accomplished, but they have to show me some level of consistency before I am scared of them. Now, I also acknowledge the fact that they could turn it on later. Wiggins gets back in the fold, and maybe they're a little more dangerous. But right now, I don't see how anyone could really tell me this is a championship level team when they have yet to play championship basketball this year.
How incredible would it be if the Kings ended the Warriors dynasty?
Incredible.
Era.
Some would say they did by hiring Mike Brown.
Hey!
Boom. Drop it.
Good one, Deuce. Good one.
We have another. We only got to one truth
Yeah,
or
I know.
trash. So that's fine. We need to get to the Lamar Jackson one coming up.
Yes.
I'm curious to get your guys' perspective on that. We got some other basketball ones too. What?
The format. Go on.
Morgan, you gotta get over that. It is what it is.
Let's evolve.
It's tough. It is tough.
Yeah.
As a newbie to this, it's
just
tough.
like
Why? 'Cause you're used to
evolve and let us
podcasting.
talk.
You're
I am
to
used to podcasting, but it's more just like I've been telling people, like having to fit a point or several points into exactly 12 to 13 minutes. It's just tough because it's either like I don't have
where are
enough,
the
or it's like
benefits?
we're really right when you get
Look,
rolling
guys.
into something. The benefits are that's how we get paid.
That's
That is,
but
that
no,
is
but
the
like
benefit.
you can still get to it, and that people act like, oh, it's better this and that. No, it's better if you have great content. And great content, you let it roll.
I don't know. If we were to go for 50 minutes straight and then just run 10 minutes straight of commercials,
I would be balling, breaking ankles.
That's like, what is that? Sirius? Isn't that the platform of Sirius and XM?
I mean, I have so many ideas. We can talk about during the break.
Let's do it.
Because we always say live.
All right.
YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Deuce and Mo alongside Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
Dave Deuce Mason, 300 people live watching us right now. We're going to need a few more thumbs up, party people. Bow, bow, bow.
Coming up, by the way, at noon,
Overlay.
that local guy
Yes.
is going to be live with us.
Dude, that's
Which
right.
local guy?
That one.
Okay.
Do you know that one, Jrue?
You want
Yeah.
to talk about
Are you familiar with Jrue on Twitter?
I see him every once in a while.
Twitter
Wow.
troll king? I love.
You think he's a troll?
Yes.
I mean, some
I mean,
ways, but I
yeah.
think he does a lot of like his basketball breakdowns are.
So, not trying to flex here, but one time when we were at practice, Monty McNair came down and was talking with myself, James Ham, Brendan Nunez, and Frankie.
No, I'm going to tell you how this happened.
Oh.
Monty McNair came down. Maybe he was like talking to you, and James Ham sprinted over to be a part of it. Is that okay? Go ahead. Sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to interrupt.
We were all
Did you have an answer or?
we were all sitting at a table, and Monty came down. And he was like, "Hey, like, what's up with that local guy? I see him on Twitter, and like one tweet will be a really detailed, really accurate breakdown of like the Kings pick and roll situations and how they do X, Y, and Z, and then the next tweet is, oh my God, I'm so sad. My 4-year-old is in the next room crying, and I just I just beat him or something." And it's like, what? I don't get that guy. And it's Jrue, and he also does the live from Folsom Lake.
Yes.
I love
Folsom,
that.
and it's
I
like
love that.
the villas in Italy or something like that. And people legitimately like get upset at him. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, I've lived in Sac my whole life, never seen this.
The people who get caught on that, I'm just like, what's wrong
You're
with
the
you? It's
dumbest
like,
people
you're
on the
missing
planet.
it.
And not only that, I go again to the modern day of how we consume different
This
content.
is deep.
And but no, it's like
This is
people,
Morgan's vent hours. It's so annoying. Oh, so that was inner dialogue that was somehow coming out.
I'll
because I'm
show
tired.
you inner dialogue.
Dialogue? Are you gonna show me that? I'm sorry, it just came out. I'm tired. You guys know.
Anyway.
Can I say that I have 999 Twitter followers? If I can have one more, that'd be great.
Okay, what's your Twitter handle?
Chris M. Watkins. I just noticed.
At
Chris
I
M.
normally,
Watkins?
I normally would
Watkins.
not promote myself, as you know.
Yeah,
as you
which
say.
is bad.
But
And
I
you-
have literally 999.
Go
Twitter
follow
followers.
Chris. I'm gonna link his.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you, dude. That's awesome.
Get him to
Thank
over
you.
1,000.
Hopefully, Twitter doesn't blow up. in the
What I
next
wasn't going to
days.
complain about though is just that modern day like
Social.
content. Yeah, it's like you're gonna have someone that is super smart and can break things down that's also going to be truly themselves.
Yeah.
And if you don't like them and their personality and them, then don't consume their content.
Yes.
And even for Monty, like don't go and like follow or don't go look at his stuff.
Very easy to change the channel or to unfollow
Yes.
someone
Well,
else.
just like we were talking about,
100.
like it's healthy to mute people. Just like instead of getting
Wow.
riled up about it, just let it go.
And it's also okay for other people to like content that you don't like.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
1,010, by the way. There we go. There we go. There you go. Chris Watkins
Y'all
over
have
1,000.
pull.
1,000.
no,
My
no.
goodness gracious. I should do this every time.
Chris tomorrow goes, I
Yeah,
only
I
have
only had,
1,100.
1,344 followers. Who
And you
likes-
guys should listen. You guys follow him. Now you know that he's
Yeah.
on Monday through Friday
Now you
starting
know.
at 10 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports.
Yeah.
Mike's super short show.
Dude, I love it. I love you being on. I love your voice.
Sean says, can you guys tell the
Everything
Kings
about you.
to unblock me on Instagram? Graham, it's been 6 years. Why'd they block you?
Yeah,
I need to know why they
exactly.
blocked you. Also, hit the thumbs up in the chat, please.
I had someone else ask me before, like, hey, can you tell the Kings to unblock me? And I'm just like, what did you do?
Yeah, that's the thing. People don't get blocked from like major accounts.
No.
I got
unless
blocked
you're-
by
sometimes,
KMBR.
like if you
From
respond
KMBR?
to somebody, you get like a blanket block
What's a
Really?
blanket block?
where the person just starts blocking everyone. That's
Oh.
yeah.
What's a blanket
I
block?
know.
I think I invented that too.
when
Yeah,
I
I
worked
was
at
like-
95.7 The Game
Uh-huh.
back in the day, like KMBR just blocked me. I'm like, because I work at a different station. Like, what?
Mm.
So weird.
Old and weird.
Yeah, radio's weird.
What the deal? Bet. I got two. One for the plug and one for the low.
Yes.
One for the plug and one for the dough.
By the way, anyone who has two phones, I don't care if it's for business, automatically judge.
Kevin John has 2 phones.
What?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
No, he's too
Yes.
guy. I don't judge
Yeah.
him.
No, what's worse, having 2 cell phones or a cell phone and a landline?
If you have a landline,
Yeah, I don't know
why?
who has a landline. Jason Ross. Actually, he does.
Wait,
Jason
does
Ross-
he really have a
He's got
landline?
Yeah.
Oh man.
He's
Uh,
still, yeah.
I got 2 seeds. I was doing the 2.
Seeds.
No,
See-
and that's you. That's your tired brain.
I know. I'm trying to. He's playing songs with 2 in it. I was just trying to have fun, Morgan.
I've got 2
Stop.
on
don't
it.
don't put your like weird
No.
feelings right now onto me.
No.
It's not what we're doing
Chris,
today.
I love that Chris is in here to stop this. Chris, you
I just-
saw him last segment. The way that he attacked
Talking
me.
to that Chris must be.
No, that's me every other hour.
yeah.
We still have to get to our
We do
truth
have
or
to
trash.
talk Lamar Jackson.
I've got this truth or trash for you.
Or trash.
Love it.
Truth or trash.
Can you explain it to me?
It's
I don't quite
really
understand.
it's kind of complicated.
Yeah.
So we have a statement, and you tell us if it's truth or trash. It's hard to follow, but
Gotcha.
just try
Okay.
to you
Okay.
know, keep up here
I think I
with
got it.
us. Truth or trash, guys.
Mhm.
The 49ers. The
You
49ers
lost it.
should go get Lamar Jackson. And before you answer, let me
okay.
just explain. Okay.
Aw,
Think about this.
Okay.
So because of the deal that the Ravens have, this non-exclusive franchise tag, which is kind of crazy that they did this, right? With a guy who's 26 years old, who's won an MVP. It puts them in an interesting spot where the Jackson has permission to negotiate an offer sheet from any team in the NFL. And then the Ravens would then have a chance to either match it or let Jackson walk and receive 2 first-round picks from Jackson's new team. There's a lot of weirdness going on. So the 49ers don't have a pick in this year's draft in the first
Interesting.
round. So that obviously complicates things. ESPN's Bill Barnwell says teams that don't have their own first-round pick in 2023, such as the Niners or Dolphins, could acquire Jackson without using an offer sheet. In these cases, he said he would expect the Ravens to ask for something more than 2 first-round picks. An example might be to include a first-round pick, a second-round pick, and a quarterback who can replace Jackson in the starting lineup.
Oh, I see where your mind's
Little
going here.
Trey Lance, a first-round pick, a second-round pick to Baltimore for Lamar Jackson. Truth or trash? The Niners
Oh,
should think
man.
about getting Lamar Jackson.
See, it's all. Think about getting Lamar Jackson. They should consider bringing in Lamar Jackson.
There
I
you
definitely
go.
think so. I mean, just with how confusing that quarterback situation could shake out, being, with who knows when Brock Purdy's going to return. Trey Lance, it's kind of like a weird situation where if they are going to roll out Trey Lance, like how are they going to determine who or what they're going to do with him moving forward? I think it's kind of a clean break. It seems good to me. And
You're trying to
You
win
know?
a championship. Could you imagine
yes.
Kyle Shanahan with
Those
Lamar
weapons.
Jackson?
If you have Lamar
Legs,
Jackson,
arm.
Debo Samuel,
Ugh.
and Christian McCaffrey,
Thank you.
you could just run those 3 in the
George
backfield and just triple option every single
There's
play because you can
weapons.
do whatever you want.
I obviously the complicated thing would be you got to pay him. You already have a lot of money invested. You still have to
Sure.
deal with, hey, you've got to pay Brandon Ayuk. Would you be
Yeah.
able to afford him then? Nick Bosa's got the big contract extension that he's going to land. So there's a lot of money out there, but God, it's the Niners quarterback situation just never feels like it's totally figured out. And I
Mhm.
know like what we saw from Brock Purdy, but he's getting surgery. We don't know if he's going to be ready. It feels like they're kind of mixed on Trey Lance. You have a window here, right?
Definitely. Especially with how good this defense is, for sure. I mean, you mentioned money like that right now the 49ers have the benefit of having 2 quarterbacks that are on rookie rookie scale contracts.
In the window, capitalize on it. And especially if this is something that is serious and can happen. I mean, you will have not only one of the better quarterbacks that you've had in how many years,
right? True.
And on top of that, a really good backup quarterback in Brock Purdy, who is trying to work his way back from injury.
I think the tough thing might be, I think we're thinking about Lamar Jackson, the runner. I don't know how much Lamar Jackson, the passer, fits with Shanahan. It seems like the reason why they liked Trey Lance and they really liked Brock Purdy over Jimmy Garoppolo was his ability to throw the deep ball. And, Lamar has had checkered history with just throwing in general.
Well, the Ravens haven't exactly.
They haven't
done
given him the
favors
best weapons
with
for sure.
wide receivers, right? So I don't know. I just think it's something you should look into. I mean, why didn't they win it all last year?
Because Josh Johnson.
Because of a quarterback, and I know one got hurt.
However, they played 4. Like that's
I know,
you really
insane.
kind of can't account for
insane.
that. And if you're bringing in Lamar Jackson, also you should probably have a pretty decent backup option.
I'm also coming from this. I'm not a Niners fan.
Yeah.
So I don't. I'm not.
Let's put the ball on your court then. Raiders. To me, the Raiders are a team that makes a lot of sense for Lamar.
I'm not a Raiders fan either. But
really,
no, I'm not.
I thought you were.
No,
He's kind of a nothing fan.
I grew up a Cowboys fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're like Rob Lowe. You put on the NFL hat.
I can tell you why I don't like the Cowboys.
Please tell us.
Jerry
One
Jones.
person.
Jerry
Yeah.
Jones.
What was different? Jerry Jones has always been there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
You were just too young. To
the
understand
once
how
the
terrible.
Kaepernick stuff happened,
Oh,
he
right,
just
yes.
And then like accepting players even that like throw women on a
Greg
bed
Hardy.
with
Gregory.
guns.
Greg
Greg
Yeah.
Hardy
yeah.
really got me.
Just
Yeah.
he has no
the Greg Hardy
morals or
thing was
values,
tough.
and he's
Very
a
tough.
racist weirdo. So let's just be honest
Check
here.
and check.
Yeah.
So
He was just watching what was happening at that.
That is
school.
true.
He
Yeah, didn't participate.
Yeah.
Right.
no, I just
He was just seeing what was going on. If I remember. Correctly.
I just think the whole Lamar Jackson thing is super just sus, as the kids would say. It's sus
Yeah.
that he is available right now,
Mhm.
and there's teams who don't have quarterbacks that go, yeah, I'm good. And I don't know if it has more to do with Chris
I'm being pulled.
being pulled out.
Being pulled. They're going to the lefty.
Oh yeah, did you have to leave early?
I did. I completely.
Oh.
I was
No.
having too much fun. My
Oh,
fault. I also never heard about
That's
practice.
why. That's why we needed to talk to you. Yes,
See,
practice is up.
Okay.
It's coming
Oh
up.
Yep.
man.
See, I never
Wait,
got the
wait,
word on where King. I have to go to King's practice because Frankie isn't here.
Ah,
See, thanks,
okay.
Frankie. You're messing my day up.
God.
It's been
Well,
fun, y'all.
Hey, well, thanks for
Yeah, Chris, thanks
Frankie
for hanging out.
Cascarelli.
Also, make sure Chris Watkins, you can listen to him 10 to 11, Monday through Friday here on Sactown Sports.
Hi, Chris.
Bye, y'all.
Did you not know what time practice was today?
I did not know.
So they just were like, hey, you got to go.
Yeah, I mean,
Interesting.
That's,
Okay.
that's what just happened. I literally just saw Brian and
Brian's
Chris
like,
said
hey,
in my
he knows
ear,
he has
like,
to go to
let's
practice,
go.
right?
And I was
Get to
like,
practice.
I'm sorry.
If you're not
Sorry,
there,
I know.
I mean, what?
Guys,
What's going to happen
Who else is
today?
going to talk to Kessler Edwards today? Okay.
What is
You
going to
have
happen
to.
if you don't ask Mike Brown about being on national TV tomorrow? Get out of here and go.
He needs to ask them what their favorite 2 songs are.
Yes, and that
Wait,
please.
what time is practice? Chris,
12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Oh.
Oh.
You're
Okay,
screwed.
12 o'clock
Which
is when
means 12:30.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
laugh. Let me know when you get in there.
Yeah,
Let
text
me know
us.
because I guarantee you won't be 12:45 and you're rushing to get out of there. Oh gosh. Coming up on the show today, we've got that local guy in studio with us, Jrue. We'll talk some more Kings basketball. I got a little thrown off in the middle of the show. I was just seeing like this, like, Chris, you got to go. I'm like, is he okay? Or like, is he being fired?
Yeah, it's been real fun. But,
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on.
Chris and Co is now ended.
I was like, oh my God.
It's just going on.
Chris said something bad about Jerry Jones. He's got to go.
Oh my God, it was so abrupt. It was.
He was very abrupt. I was worried. I was like,
Bye,
looking
Chris.
around.
Oh my God. Stop. It's funny. It's
Also,
so funny.
it is funny just knowing as someone who goes to King's practice all the time, or just not lately, but usually when
Yeah.
we are doing the show, they say practice availability is at noon.
Always late.
You are never going in at noon.
Nope.
You sit into a lobby and wait till they call, and sometimes it's 1:30. So
It's the truth. Well,
I hope they start right on time today and they don't let him in.
yeah.
Sorry, man, you're late.
All right. Coming up at the start of next hour, I mentioned it. That local guy aka Jrue. He's going to be in studio with us talking Kings. Can't wait to talk to him. He's also part of In the Film Room, a Sacramento Kings podcast.
Yes.
Does amazing work. He knows ball. We're going to talk to him because we talked to him before the season. He's like, I think the Kings can have a top 5 offense. Wonder if he's surprised that the Kings are the best offensive team in basketball. We'll do that coming up at noon. And at 1, the big show.
It's the big show.
We call him Paul Wight now.
Yeah, we do.
It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports 1140 and SactownSports.com.
Too funny. Too funny.
That was abrupt.
Chris,
You have to admit.
it was funny.
Well, Brian came in. I don't know anything.
I know.
about it and stuff like that.
I
It's
know.
like,
I'm not
hey,
blaming-
he's supposed to be there at 12. And I'm just like, oh, no.
When I met
Chris, you gotta go.
when I met with them earlier, they're like, "Oh, and Chris is going to be cut short." I mean, I just don't remember, in the middle of a live show. I just thought maybe Chris.
Oh, you knew that ahead of time.
I just didn't even know why. I just knew that Chris was like going to be cut short, and I was like, "Okay, no problem." So but I didn't even remember or care. I was like, "He's an adult. He'll leave."
Yeah, and you're zooming in. Drew's coming in studio.
I think I'm going to put. Let's do a 2-box and do Jrue. I like the shot better.
I love the chat. King says it's a big bad show tonight. Well,
It's a big show.
So this is weird. I don't know if you do this too, Deuce. Like, when there's like a rope or like a chain or something like that you're just trying to get across. Like at A's games, there's like the chains like where you go in a good line and you put your leg over and go over it that way. Do you, like me, always go, well, it's a big show?
no, I have not done that, but that's funny. But yeah, because that's all. Yeah, I got you. That's hilarious. I used to think that was so cool as a kid when these big, like Kevin Nash, aka Diesel.
Kevin Nash is the coolest getting over it.
yeah.
Actually, he might be the coolest at doing anything.
The way you push it all the way down and get over the rope. Oh. What? Those headphones aren't working? Remember?
I can hear the commercials. You got it. There we go. Hey yo. Hey yo.
Oh, look at who's here.
Oh, and look who's repping.
Hi.
Oh, my
Oh, it's a
God.
big day, dude.
I know.
Good to see you.
Dude,
Good
thank
to see you.
you. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, my boss was cool with my Arby's boss was cool.
Oh yeah, of
so,
course. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Don't-
not always easy. I mean, when you run in Arby's too, it's not easy to get out of
You
that.
know, shift leads. They don't usually get the
thank
grace
you.
that's allowed to them.
I'm so glad that
But they
people
should.
get to hear those pipes of yours too.
Oh, hey.
It's just such a great
Hey.
voice.
You really do.
I love when
Cute.
we asked him about that, and he's like, "Yeah, I do voice work." I'm like, "Oh, that does."
Yeah,
make sense."
literally, I feel like my VO agent's been playing a prank on me. She's been bombarding me with
Ooh, who's your
auditions.
latest? Can you say auditions?
I
I
mean,
don't.
Yeah, I mean, some of them. I mean, she's got an in with like DreamWorks and Nickelodeon. So
Oh,
Wait, are you doing like an animated series? Are you?
I mean, I'm auditioning for them. I haven't
Whoa.
booked anything, but like that's like her in.
What are you
is, like-
playing though? What would you play if you?
A lot of them are like kids shows.
Yeah, but
So,
are
like,
you a kid? Your voice is not kid. Do you have a kid voice?
No,
You
not
play the
really.
dad.
It's like random creatures and like dads.
Ooh,
really?
Random creatures.
What's
and,
your
like,
creature?
dads.
Give me your creature voice.
I think the latest one I did was like these little like minion type creatures. They're
Yeah.
like grapple, like that. Like that's like the latest thing that I did.
it's
Dude, I love it. Dude, I just love you talk about your versatility, man. You do voice work and you know hoops.
I mean,
You know
hey,
hoops.
I'm a hoops lifer, so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, kind of fell into that one.
So yeah, we're obviously still on the break, but we're
Yeah.
live on YouTube as you know, so we're just
Yep.
chilling.
Of course.
yeah, it's good.
Hi, everybody in the chat. Hi.
You like that? You like that? Sorry, we were just adjusting cameras.
Gotcha.
Because in here,
Kind of bummed I missed out on the Lamar conversation. Give me Lamar.
Are you
For
on?
real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring
No,
him
we
in.
can bring that up, dude. I mean, you know
Bring
more
him
than
in.
hoops. I don't mean to like pigeonhole
Oh,
you. Say,
hey,
sorry, you're
I
here to
get
talk
it.
Kings and hoops. That's it. No, we can talk Lamar Jackson. I don't care. We can talk about whatever.
Yeah, you guys already talked about it enough. Oh wait, where'd my guy C. Watkins go?
Okay, so
He got pulled in the middle of this. It just the boss came down and was like, "Hey," and then Chris goes, "He's got to go." I'm like, "What is
Whoa.
happening?"
Sounds serious.
Apparently, he's got to go to Kings practice.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
but it felt like somebody had died.
Well, you know, it made sense because if he waited 3 minutes till the break, he was going to miss everything at Kings practice. You know what I mean? Like, it was totally worth coming in 3 minutes before he breaks to, he's got to go. And then I'm like, what is happening?
Well, he obviously forgot,
All
but
right, stand by.
too funny. Oh yeah.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings are now second in the Western Conference after the Lakers' 112-103 win over the Memphis Grizzlies last night. The Kings are currently tied with the Grizzlies with 38 wins and 26 losses. For more information on the Kings playoff race, check out the Kings insider Frankie Cardicelli's piece on the Kings' path to the playoffs on SactownSports.com. The Baltimore Ravens have franchise tag quarterback Lamar Jackson after neither side could come to an agreement on a long-term contract. And for all of your franchise tag news, check out Emil Fergosa on SactownSports.com. It is 12 o'clock. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Now more with Deuce and Mo with our guest, that local guy, Jrue.
Oh man,
Two. It's all about the two today.
you guys have been killing it with that today.
You like it? That's all
Chris,
Chris.
man.
Love it.
Gotta love it. Yeah, we are soaking it in today. The Kings are the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, just like everyone thought before the season started, right?
I planned this out. I said no play-in, playoffs, and possibly championship.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really feel that way. It's okay.
I never felt
Yeah.
that way. No.
It is crazy. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, and our guest in studio. If you know him on social media, or if you don't, you should follow him. That
Yep.
local guy on Twitter, the one and only Jrue is here.
Yeah.
He also co-host in the Film Room, Sacramento Kings podcast. Does amazing work with Skylar. So appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, Skylar and my good friend Fish Guy Abe.
Yes, Fish Guy, of course.
So
Thank you.
shout out to Abe. He said he would harm me physically if I didn't shout him
No,
out.
and that's
so
my
we're
bad.
gonna-
I failed to do that. I'm very familiar with Fish Guy. Every
That's-
time he's in our Discord, I drop the fish on him. He's great.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't want
Um,
you to get hurt.
Yeah. Yes, I needed to get that out of the way first. But thank you so much for having me on. This is an honor and a privilege, and I'm just so happy that you two are back on the airwaves.
Oh my god.
Haven't seen both of you in forever, even at Kings games.
I saw you last game. You were talking to when you come near the media section, you have all these are they
Yeah.
groupies? I think media groupies.
No,
that
I'm
kinda
just there to
hover
get my
around you?
parking validation for
Oh,
Frankie.
okay, yeah, that's right. Frankie hooked you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did see. I couldn't, come say hi at that time, but yeah, no, I appreciate you being here, and yeah, we were just talking to Chris Watkins about you coming in, and he had mentioned that Monty McNair was asking about your Twitter account, the Kings general manager, who's like, wait, this guy like breaks down hoops. He's talking about pick and roll coverages, talking about our play sets, but at the same time, trolls a lot. When you found that out, what do you think?
My media thought was we live in an insane timeline, and this is a simulation.
Yeah.
And the Kings being 38-26 and second place in the Western Conference in the month of March further confirms that. So
Wow.
yeah, that was my thought. It was pretty wild. There were some specific tweets that apparently he pointed out where he was just like, I'm so confused because he'll do this and then he'll like break down like a hammer play, like 5 minutes later. in
Yeah,
the
because
video.
apparently if you could break down the hammer play, you can't have any sense of humor, right?
apparently.
Right? Like
Yeah,
you must be just focused strictly on basketball.
Mhm.
I remember talking to you before King season on our podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Did you?
No, I'm just laughing.
Oh.
It's so true.
I just realized I'm like icing you out.
Oh,
and
no.
It's International
And
Women's
it's
Day.
Happy
Yeah, yeah.
International
No,
Women's Day
please, the men.
to you, Mo, and
Yeah.
everybody, all the women out there.
We're
Yeah.
gonna acknowledge, say happy, but let the men talk.
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
second.
yeah. I'll
So-
just ask a question whenever it's needed. I'll ask a question, but can you pass the question to
I
me?
will for sure allow
Thank-
you an opportunity.
Thank
in a
you
second.
so much.
Just kidding. When
Oh, yeah.
we had
He'd
him
be
on our
good.
podcast before the season, remember he was saying, I think the Kings have the potential to have a top 5 offense. Did you expect it to be this good though?
Yeah, I actually went back and listened to that episode yesterday just to listen to some of the stuff that we were saying. And when it comes to the offense, especially, boy, did we sell them short, because this is, as of right now, the best offense in not just the league, but in NBA history, if you go by offensive rating. And that was probably the one thing on the season preview that I got to do with you both that we absolutely sold this team short on.
That's it's wild to even think about that moment, because I don't know if I said this during that time, but I'm sure I did. I probably challenged back with, and tell me if you heard this by any chance. It takes, I don't know, it takes a team a little bit of time to mesh, to develop together. And I mean, you see that throughout sports, unless you are just adding a whole bunch of all-stars, which now the Kings ended up having 2 all-stars this season.
Right.
But unless you're adding a whole bunch of all-stars and big names, it never seems like you're going to take that leap that quick. The Kings took that leap and more this season and totally debunked everything that I said about a team needing time to mesh.
It's okay. You know, I don't think many people are like right about the Kings.
I mean, Jrue was pretty close.
I mean, he was pretty high on the offense, but I mean, I just think it's been crazy to see how great it's been. The amount of 130 plus point games, even against Minnesota, where I was like disappointed with how that game went. But I'm like, they still put up 134 in that game, and they didn't play great and still had a chance to win.
Yeah. Morgan, when I did mention that the potential for a top 5 offense was there, you were kind of like, okay. Measured intrigue would be the way that I describe it. You weren't gonna commit fully to being excited, but you were like, okay, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Look, this team, and this was another thing we mentioned on that that season preview was we all agreed we're done winning games 140 to 139.
Yeah,
totally done over that.
Totally over that, right? Yeah, no, we only win games 176 to 175 now, apparently. Look, I think the big thing was the team building that Monte McNair did over the offseason. You know, this team, if you're going to build an offense around De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, you have to have proper spacing. The Kings had none of that last season. And then, of course, those 2 guys got hurt at the end of the season. You didn't get too big of a sample size with those 2 together. But you add Kevin Huerter, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray coming in and being one of the 10 best shooters in the league, which is it obviously was a massive revelation that I don't think anybody really saw coming. He's on pace to shatter the rookie 3-point record for 3-point field goals made by Donovan Mitchell. Look, you put those 2 guys, Malik coming off the bench, Harrison Barnes, obviously consummate pro. He's always good to shoot high 30s from 3, even though he got off to a rough start to the season. Look, you space the floor enough and you bend and stretch defenses enough, De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis are going to get whatever they want, whenever they want, practically. And that's kind of been the case. And Domantas Sabonis, on top of the fact that he's so good around the rim and has been, on medium volume, been shooting pretty okay from outside. He's just, we talked about this before the season. He's a high level processor that feels and just plays the game at his pace, knows what he's best at, knows that if he's willing to pass the ball and to set guys up, they will have the incentive to cut and move. And that's why this offense is at a 118.6 offensive rating.
Insane.
And I know we keep talking about how, Monty and the roster construction, and then obviously how this team is led by Mike Brown and the offensive, defensive strategy, techniques, whatever. But De'Aaron Fox and Domas Sabonis as individuals have taken their game to a whole nother level. And I think, when we talk about Keegan Murray being the shooter that he is, no one was expecting that, but we also hadn't seen him in the NBA before. With De'Aaron, we have seen so many times year after year flashes, zero consistency with it, being like, man, does he have this? Does he not have it? Maybe he's just never going to be a number 1 guy. Domas Sabonis, if you were watching Pacers games, I mean, you saw sometimes what he was doing with his dominance, but this just has a whole different flow to it. And those guys bringing their game to another tier of play in the NBA has just been absolutely incredible. Yeah,
it's for me mostly, it's definitely those 2 guys. I mean, for the first 44, 45 minutes, run your stuff, right? Like give Sabonis the ball. Have them just grab and go, set up the offense, run your DHOs and stuff like that, and and just do your thing. And when things break down or when you need a big basket down the stretch, give the ball to De'Aaron Fox. He's by far the best clutch player in the league this year. And those two guys have elevated one another so much. Sabonis, obviously giving De'Aaron a legit, 1A, 1B. I mean, those guys are interchangeable, 1A, 1B, but giving him another star that he can lean on has been huge for him. And you see it on both ends with De'Aaron Fox. He's locked in defensively most nights. And then on offense, he doesn't have to carry the team for the first 45 minutes of the game. That's why he's got the legs underneath him at the end of the game to make big plays and make clutch shots. So, yeah, those two guys obviously together. Monte McNair, his first big move was giving De'Aaron Fox that max, right? Mm-hmm. Well, last trade deadline, he took a ton of heat for it, but he doubled down with De'Aaron, has since tripled down with him. And all three, well, the two guys involved in the trade, and then the guy by extension involved in that trade, De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Tyrese Halliburton, they're all all-stars. So it's all worked out.
And I think it's helped Miles Turner too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
100%.
It's wild how things work out. I want to go back to what you're saying about De'Aaron's defense, because I think we've all looked at De'Aaron and thought, okay, he has the potential to be a really good defensive player. I talk to Doug Christie about that all the time. When Doug was doing analyst work, he's like, I think he can be an all NBA level defensive player. Mike Brown's kind of said that, especially when he got the job. What has been different for him this year? What have you noticed defensively about what he's been able to do?
Well, the number one thing is just engagement. he would just, there were possessions last year where he kind of had to take some possessions off, even before last season, right? There was just too much of the offensive workload put on his shoulders. And so he just didn't have the legs underneath him to play defense for a full, however many minutes he plays, 30, 35 minutes a night. Yeah. Beyond that, though, this year, if you want to get into specifics, this screen navigation is just so much better. He's getting around them. Teams, I think, early on in the season tried to test him by putting him into space and putting him into actions, pin downs, that type of thing, while he's guarding guys off the ball. He's getting around those. And his ability to be in help and to play passing lanes is the best that I've ever seen it. And we always, I think, when he came into the league, just watching him in college, thought, oh, he's got the tools.
Yep.
He's so lightning quick and he's so fast and he's so good with his hands. He can play passing lanes all day if he wants to, but that's not what makes you a good NBA defender. You have to lock in on the ball as well. So I think really just everything about his game has been elevated on defense, but mostly I think the number one thing is just he's just more engaged out there.
Yeah. And I think that engagement, some people like to use the word effort too. There's more effort put behind it to be locked in, to be engaged. But I also think this is something I always go back to. I always said De'Aaron was never taught how to, and this isn't only De'Aaron. I think this goes for AAU basketball, and then even in college when you try and play in systems, sometimes you just put a zone out there just to make a guy look good, whatever. He's going to get to the next level because of his size, whatever. With De'Aaron, I never thought that he was taught how to play basketball the right way. And so then in Sacramento, no one was trying to actually develop and teach him different fundamentals, techniques. And Mike Brown comes in and just polishes his game. And I guess
his connection with Luke Laux has helped too.
Absolutely. I think. And I think with Mike Brown and this coaching staff, we got to give a lot of credit to the way that they came in.
Big time. Yeah. When Mike Brown takes those quick timeouts, like 30 seconds into a quarter, my immediate thought, because I used to be a coach. I used to be an assistant coach at the high school level. And sometimes you're really afraid of overcoaching because these kids will tune you out. If you harp on the same thing over and over, they'll tune you out. If you try to do too much and talk too much to them, they just tune you out. These are professional basketball players. They're paid hundreds of millions of dollars to play a child's game. I don't think many of us think that they would be willing to be as receptive to somebody when they do that. But I think it speaks to the character of the team and the staff knowing how to read the room. Like, oh, these guys want this. So let's hold them accountable. Let's hop into drills if we need to. Let's take these timeouts 15 seconds into a quarter. If that's what they want, that's what they'll get. And really credit to everybody involved. Like it hasn't worn thin. It hasn't worn anybody down. And Mike Brown continues to take his signature timeouts.
Dude, he has. And I think it helps too that your two best guys, Sabonis and Fox, are down with it.
Yeah,
right? Because
100%.
If those two are coachable, I think it makes it way easier for the coaching staff to be able to coach the other guys.
It's contagious, right? It's like those guys, other guys are noticing, oh, they believe, they're buying in. Okay, well, then let's all buy in. And then once everyone's starting to buy in and there's winning going on, it's crazy what that can do for a team. It doesn't even matter if your guys even are down the bench, not playing.
Yeah.
You're still engaged in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's It's crazy. I just the vibes with this team. They are emanating throughout the entire fan base. You can just see it. I mean, even before the season, the clip of Mike Brown sprinting and telling
turn on the
people
effing Jets.
turn the effing Jets on, right?
Oh, that fires me up.
Oh yeah, it's like Deuce is standing up, people. He's standing up right now.
Jordy Fernandez
on the
fires
live
me up.
stream. Oh, dude,
The one
I
in
love
Summer
Jordy.
League.
Yeah,
Remember Summer League training camp? He's like,
I don't give 3, 4.
Yeah.
I don't
four
give
Fs.
four F's about winning or losing. It's about how we win and how we lose.
This is an effing business trip.
That man is 100% head coach material because you kind of have to be like a sociopath to be a head coach. And when Keegan hit the Murray Miracle in Vegas, that he didn't even react. He just stood there. And I'm like, yeah, like that guy's going to be a head coach one day. And, it was just a couple weeks ago when the Hawks had that opening, he was named as a candidate. I mean, you got to think about it. He's the associate head coach of this team. And then a chair down, you have Jay Triano, who has so much experience. And then a chair down from him, you got Luke Laux. And then the behind the bench people, Lindsey Harding, Doug Christie. Like this coaching staff has so much depth, and the amount of investment that they've put into the coaching staff is I think it's probably the main reason why outside of these guys actually playing the game that they are playing as well as they are is because they have the proper people in place to put them in a position to succeed.
They also employ a full-time mental strength coach too.
Oh yeah, you
Mike
talked to
Brown,
him the other day.
That Mike Brown is a big. Mike Brown brought him on, and I guess he had told him years ago, like, when I get a job, I'm hiring you. He's like, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Brought him on, and he's had a big impact too, working with the players too. So that's really cool. One thing you said, the Murray Miracle.
Yeah.
So can we just acknowledge the fact that only in Sacramento would we call something the Murray Miracle that happened in Summer League, and none of us flinched. Like, yeah, that was a miracle.
Yeah,
what a game.
Yeah, awesome game.
No other fan base talks about a Summer League game like we do.
Okay, but that's what's cool about this too, you guys, is that we'll appreciate the Murray Miracle also to where the Kings are now in the second seed, where of course there's going to be parts of the fan base that are like, oh yeah, no, we can win the championship now. And then there's going to be parts of the fan base that go, oh, this is a fluke. And then there's the middle ground, the I'll just say mostly realistic crew, right? No, I'm not even
cowards. Yeah, the cowardly bunch. You're in that category.
I'm with Mo though.
Yeah,
we've been in the same boat since the preseason.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Really?
You shut your mouth. What?
Miss I think 36 wins, 37 wins. The West is tough. I'm over here going, I think best case 43, 44. I mean,
okay, here's my thing. My thought process though on the Western Conference I'm sorry, the Kings haven't made a postseason in 16 years. So we thought maybe this first year with the first year head coach, first year here in Sacramento head coach and Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox, who only showed inconsistent signs through his first 5 seasons, that all of a sudden the Kings were going to take this leap.
Well, I didn't think this leap, but I mean,
I said play-in conversation.
I think this is just one of those days you need to go, oh, maybe I should listen to Deuce a little more when he's talking about things, because the one thing I said, what did I say before the season about the West? I said, the difference between 3 and 11 is not much.
You said that?
Do you know?
Okay, now here's my one thing.
God,
Jrue, I love that Drew's here. Jrue, my one thing is with the Western Conference, what I said, I was like, hey, expect a lot of these teams to change, by the trade deadline. There's no way they're going to. And then, of course, they change. Like, even the Lakers changed, but it wasn't enough and I mean, LeBron James is also hurt, but it just wasn't enough to make that push. And the Kings are also a much better basketball team than we had even expected them to be.
Yeah. There was a lot of damage done to those teams record-wise early on in the season.
Yep.
Load management, injuries.
Punches in the face.
Horrible roster building before they were gifted a lifeline by the league, the Lakers.
Yeah.
You can't always account for that. And it's so unpredictable, but we'll take it. I'm with Morgan though. I was not expecting this though. Second seed, 38 wins on March 8th is insanity.
Do you remember what you were thinking though, like a win total before the season?
Yeah. I listened to that last night. I think I was saying 40-ish wins.
Okay.
We're
and that's very realistic.
That's crazy.
That is so realistic. And you were still around the 41.
My most unrealistic take I've ever had in my life. I'm so embarrassed by this.
What?
The year they won 39.
Oh yeah.
The year after, I was like, dude.
Yep. Idiot.
There could be 48, 50. I don't know. Like I was all in. I was like, dude, like Luke Walton, I don't know if he's a good coach, but I know he's gonna be able to connect with the guys. And I think they need someone that can connect. Jaeger wasn't connecting with them.
Right.
I bought into that. And
That's okay.
let's just say I fell hard after that.
No, and that
hurts.
And sometimes we do that, but that's why I think the funnest thing about this season is what we're seeing.
Yeah.
With even when, let's just say, the shot isn't falling for the Kings and their offense, there's other things that they can control. And even if their defense, they don't have the best individuals defenders on this squad, their team defense is carrying them to another level. But do you think they can do that in the postseason with this type of defense?
The postseason is going to be very, very different. The Kings are currently 25th in defensive rating, I think. On your season preview, we were hoping for 20th.
Hey,
what do you think about Zach Lois suggesting that they're better defensively than maybe their rating suggests?
I would agree with that because their defensive rating takes a leap in the fourth quarter. They really lock down and they get stops when they really need to in the clutch. So I would agree with that. I also agree with him on that same podcast. He was saying they're probably a legit wing away, and that was something that we also talked about before the season. This team is probably a legitimate two-way wing away from actually being a contender, like a real contender. But yeah, I think they're a little bit better defensively simply because the process is fine. And I did a breakdown from the Timberwolves game because the Kings were getting lit up because they were giving up corner threes like crazy. The rotations were fine. I just think in situations like that, good offense is always going to be good defense usually. And also you go as far as your personnel takes you. When the Timberwolves scheme up and they put a small in the corner so that a small has to rotate over to help on the big rolling, and then that small then has to close out. Look, Davion Mitchell, love him. Defensive wizard. But if you're flying at a guy who's 6'6" and taking a corner three, you're not going to do much with the contest. So I think the process is totally fine on defense, and it'll be different in a 7-game series simply because it's Mike Brown time, baby. Like, he's going to have like 17 different defenses. We're only just seeing that just now. It was that Clippers game was the first time when he went to a zone for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
And
how do you think that's looked? He did that last game too.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine to just show a little bit of that every now and then, to throw teams off balance and to really just stop straight line drives, because those drive me nuts as a guy watching this team. And I think that certainly helps. You can also hide somebody in foul trouble doing that as well. And Sabonis obviously is so valuable. You got to be able to hide him if he's on the hook for a couple of fouls early. And it really makes it a lot easier on this group if they don't have to fly and rotate as much, and you keep guys in certain spots. So packing the paint with the zone, I'm down with it. It's just these guys are pros, and guys are going to eventually hit shots. You can't play zone for an entire game.
No.
So I expect to see a lot more, though. I mean, last year with the Warriors, he was running 2-3, 3-2, a box and one. He was going like matchup zone.
Yeah.
And he was also.
We've seen that too this year.
Yeah, we
Sacramento.
have. And in the 2019 finals, Nick Nurse went to a triangle and two because he's a madman. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody pulls that out again.
And I remember the box and one, and didn't the Warriors pull that out and Mike Brown throw that at them when they had not even really practiced it before, and they were like, okay, hey, we're all pros. We know what a box and one is, so we're going to throw it at them. And it ended up working a little bit more. But I think it's what else is crazy about the NBA. It seems like other teams are using zones a lot more lately.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We're all roughly the same age in here. You guys remember the illegal defense?
Oh yeah.
You used to not even be able to play a zone. And now that they've been able to add that, teams are starting to. We didn't see it for the first like 10 years when they started letting teams do it again.
Yeah.
And now we see it all the time. And I do think it's really interesting. Like, just from an X's and O's standpoint, I love that stuff, like the kitchen sink being thrown at teams. And then how does this team counter it? This league's full of counters, right? Like, you got to find out how to counter this and counter that. I'm really, really interested to see teams just throw junk at one another in the playoffs and see how they deal with it. If you looked at that Clippers versus Kings game, the 176-175 game, that was like an entire playoff series condensed into one game. Both coaches were throwing everything at one another. Both teams were going zone, different types of zones. They were doing different, like pick and roll coverages. The Clippers had Nick Batum face guarding De'Aaron Fox for 90 feet. Like all this stuff was happening in that game. And I thought that game was so important because this is what we're going to see in April and potentially May. So it's better to know now how you're going to deal with it and have tape on it now than as opposed to later.
Let's talk more about that coming up. Drew's hanging out with us, that local guy. We got to take a break on the radio side, but we're always live. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. It's Deuce and Mo, Sactown Sports 1140, SactownSports.com. Boom. All right.
Let's talk more Davion Mitchell one coming up, but also I was going to ask you about Kessler Edwards. You know how everyone went pretty wild after that?
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards stopper game. I mean, let's be real. I think a lot of people are dramatic, but at the same time, we saw some good stuff from him. Do you like what you're seeing?
Yeah.
What you saw?
Look, I'm a Kessler Edwards stan because
there we
I
go.
was really high on him in the pre-draft process that year, and also he played in the WCC.
How'd St. Mary's do yesterday?
I don't want to talk about St. Mary's,
Okay.
but I am a WCC enthusiast, and Kessler went to Pepperdine, and so I got to see him 2 times a year for a couple of years. I'm excited to see what else he can do. I thought he was really, really good in those minutes guarding Ant Edwards, and then also hit that spot up 3. That was huge as well. I mean, shows me that guy's ready to play, and he's got a ton of really cool low cost upside swing by Monty McNair.
I love watching some of these lengthy, young players go out there. Last night we were calling Stockton Kings game, and they added a guy, John Butler Jr., who is with the Portland Trailblazers, but they don't have a G League team.
Yeah,
so
the 7'3" dude.
Yes, and watching him he's skinny. He's already added on like almost 20 pounds, but it just the length that he adds of even just blocking a shot.
He moves pretty well for a guy his size.
Right. He can move laterally and everything. And I just feel like with Kessler Edwards, like having that length, having that wingspan, the NBA is going in that direction of seeing how much value those type of bodies, those type of guys have.
Yeah. I remember seeing John Butler when he was at Florida State as a freshman, and I was like, dude, that guy's probably like 150 soaking wet. Like, he's so skinny, but the way he moves, I'm just like, yeah, he's a physical freak. I wonder if he's going to stick around. And he's definitely a Leonard Hamilton, their coach. He's got a type. I mean, Jonathan Isaac, Scotty Barnes, like those guys were just prodigious, like length and just defensive ability. So he fit the bill there. And they had some talent come in along with him. But when he left, I was like, that's interesting. And then, now he's on a 2-way, but, I'll be interested to see how he does with the team the rest of the season. Might be an important ad for the postseason run, right? For the Stockton Kings, right? Like
number 1 seed right now.
Yeah,
they feel good.
Oh yeah.
How's my guy Keon? I mean, I see the highlights, but how's my guy Keon doing?
I think he's getting better and better. I do.
Every game.
He's got to be more aggressive offensively too. I know Bobby Jackson was telling us he wants him to take like 9 threes a game, which would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been knocking it down efficiently.
He's capable.
Yeah.
He's just got to look for his a little bit more on the offensive end because, I mean, we know what he can do defensively, get in the passing lanes, block some shots. But offensively, like we saw a game like a week ago, I think it was against the Cleveland Charge. He was just creating for himself, like looking so smooth, knocking down threes. And it's like, and that was one of the better teams that they were playing against. And it's like, you have this, Keon.
I think he could be a Terrence Davis replacement next year if they don't re-sign TD.
Yeah. But with like way more defensive upside.
Right.
His instincts
that's what I'm
off
saying,
the charts. Like in summer league, he was making plays where I was like I was thinking, like if I saw something coming, I'd be like, oh, if he does this, that's a steal. And he did the thing that I was thinking, and I'm like, okay, this guy.
If you do what
just,
Jrue thinks,
well,
you're gonna be
great
an
point.
elite
what I think.
Yeah.
What I think, not what I do. I was never that physically gifted.
So do you still
do
watch? I mean, you watch college basketball all the time too. So how do you have time to watch? Like keep up on college, the Kings. You watch a lot of NBA too.
Yeah. I try to, like the primetime games mostly. Really are the only ones that I'll take a peek in every now and then with those, but mostly during the college basketball season, it's basically just the Kings in college basketball.
Wow.
I love college hoops. So I bought my tickets for next week at Golden One for the March Madness game like a year out. My friend and I did that like a year out. Like, and we were so bummed in 2020 when it was canceled because they were supposed to be here in 2020.
Yeah.
And a lot of bracketologists had St. Mary's on like the 6 or 7 line, and some of them had them here in Sacramento. And I was like, dude, if they get slotted in Sacramento, I will lose my mind. And then they literally canceled the tournament the week before. So.
That's
Kind of a bummer. Yeah. But I'm excited. It's
Did
gonna
you
be
go
a
last
fun
time?
tournament.
Did you go last time it was here? In
2017, yeah.
That was wild. I remember St. Patrick's Day
Dude.
downtown.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, I
They-
drank.
Oh, a
Yeah,
lot
I
of day
mean-
drink. The day drinking that day was next level.
I mean, they kick you out after the first session of games, right? And then you have to come in for the second session.
Yeah.
You know, they give you like an hour break. My friend and I walked out towards that Doco sign by Sauced.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All of K Street.
Yep.
It's just
Yeah.
people, and not just people from here, but people from Rhode Island, and Oregon,
Dude, and it's
UCLA, Cincinnati.
and now
Like,
it's grown a little bit more since
Mhm.
that time, so it will be.
it's gonna be wild.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Do you watch women's college hoops too, or just men's?
not as much, but I follow the big names.
Like
I
Caitlin
wonder.
Clark.
Yeah, I wonder if Naima's in the chat right now or watching, because our friend Naima from Cowbell Talk, she's like her and our buddy Mark Schindler.
Yeah.
Hoopers.
The only two people who I will trust when it comes to well, I trust some other people, but when it comes to like
Ooh.
women's hoops,
Cool.
they do a lot of groundwork and they
Okay.
tweet a lot about the women's game. So I always listen to them, and that's how I follow women's college basketball.
Shout
But yeah,
Sac State. Big Sky Conference Championship
2
today.
p.m.
He's
Let's
got
go.
the crew neck on. I
That's why
love
I'm
it.
repping.
Hell yeah.
that's why I'm repping. Yeah. But yeah, Caitlin Clark's obviously like the big name.
Yeah.
Right.
She's gonna be crazy when she gets to the league.
Stand by. There we go.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings are now second in the Western Conference after the Lakers' 112-103 win over the Memphis Grizzlies last night. Kings are currently tied with the Grizzlies with 38 wins and 26 losses. For more information on the Kings playoffs race, check out our Sacramento Kings insider, Frankie Cardoselli, on his piece for the Kings' path to the playoffs on SactownSports.com. Baltimore Ravens have franchise tag quarterback Lamar Jackson after neither side could come to an agreement on a long-term contract. For all of your franchise tag news, check out Emil Fergosa on SactownSports.com. It is 12:30. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. And now more with Deuce, Mo, and Jrue.
I have not heard this song in
Wait.
so long.
Got it. It took me a second to like click.
Wow.
Brain.
Chris, you're pulling them.
You know, there's not a lot of songs with talking about the number two.
Yeah.
I could find more. You can go with 2, Deuce, Poop.
That doesn't count. Doesn't count.
He
Doesn't
laughed.
count. Of course, he laughs at that. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, that local
Yeah, there's
guy,
a lot of poop songs out there.
Okay.
aka Jrue in the building. You know something I want to ask you? How you watch basketball, right? You obviously you played it, you've coached it, you know the game, you do great breakdowns on some of the stuff the Kings are running. If someone wanted to start doing that, like what would you advise them? They want to dive in, they want to learn that and be able to see the game. Is it watching a lot? Is it looking up? Like, how did you get into it?
Well, for me, playing and coaching obviously helped. That's the ultimate shortcut, is when you're forced to. And then for me as a player, I think the thing that really made me accelerate the whole learning process of it was I used to just shoot the ball a lot growing up. And then once I realized my growth spurt was not going to be as big as a lot of these other dudes who were going D1 and whatnot, I was like, all right, I should probably change the way I play. So I had to turn myself into a point guard, and that really helped me learn the game that way. And then obviously coaching helps you learn it from a completely different perspective. But if I'm somebody who wanted to learn more about the X's and O's and the actions and all that stuff to see what's really happening out there, because I think many of us we see ball.
Yes.
Ball goes in the hoop.
It's it. That's it.
That's the primary objective, right? And so I totally understand. And you want to watch these stars do what they do. And the NBA is very ISO heavy most of the time. So, you know, like that's what's glorified, or like that's what's posted out there, is when these guys go ISO and they do these cool things. First thing I would do if I wanted to learn the game and the X's and O's is I would just not watch the ball. I would just watch the other 8 guys on the court besides the dude with the ball and the dude guarding the ball. And that will lead you to realize that, oh, wow, like that guy catching the ball here and then doing this and then getting the ball there, and that's how they scored, was not an accident. This was a set play. And that was the one thing I had to, and it's tough. You have to really, really train yourself to not watch the ball. But I mean, I'm always in the film room. So,
I know you are.
So, like when all the film room sessions when I was a coach and stuff like that, I mean, I was running around, scouting teams and whatnot for playoffs and things like that. Those last couple of years I was coaching, and all the film that I watched, my old high school head coach, who was also the coach that I coached under when I went back to coach my old high school, shout out to Tony Phillips, my high school head coach. I hope he's listening right now.
Aw.
You went to El Camino, right?
I went to El Camino, yeah.
Wait, did you played with Cole?
No,
No,
Cole was before my time.
Okay.
I played with his brother.
Oh,
Played with his
that's
little
right.
brother, Brett. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Very inside there, by the way. My old roommate.
Yeah.
Oh, that Cole.
Yeah.
Aw.
Cole went to
Yeah, Cole was freaking. He was an athlete.
But let's be honest,
Dude.
you'd get buckets on him now.
No. Cole's a bucket, man. Cole's a bucket. I'm not even gonna entertain that. Cole would whoop me like 1-on-1 anytime he do it. Dude was just a freaking athlete. But yeah, my old coach, he would be like, all right, yeah, go film this team. And like, you bring me a scouting report. I got all these, like all the other coaches had a whole bunch of teams to scout for playoffs, because we were scouting not just the teams that we most likely would have played, but we were prepared for any scenario. We would go and like scout like multiple teams, each coach. And so I had to like present like 3 or 4 scouting reports to him before playoffs, just in case. And when I did that, the 2 years that I was on the varsity staff towards the end of each season, I was just like, wow, now I see the game in a completely different way. And like now when I watch games, it's like I can only watch that way. So,
Dude,
yeah.
So when you go back, but when you go back and watch a Kings game, you're pausing a lot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And KFR, shout out to Kings Film Room.
Yes.
Fresno's finest.
Yes.
Shout out to the 559. I don't know if they have internet out there.
No, I was gonna say
if
there's
he's-
not a lot. I mean, saying Fresno's finest isn't really saying much, but no, I mean he's great. Skylar is great.
and if he's got a fast enough internet connection, hopefully he's listening right now.
Oh my God.
But he and I have talked about this, and I think you actually asked us this at a game. You were like, Mo asked us, when you guys watch games, do you guys just like memorize like what happens out there, and then you just post it? And me and him both kind of looked at each other and said, yeah. And Mo's like, oh, I write everything down. I like timestamp it and stuff, and then I can go back. KFR does so much work with the YouTube side of things and tweeting things out. I think he's almost exclusively left the in-game clipping to me when I'm able to do it. And he goes back and he watches the games afterwards, and now almost exclusively posts clips after games because he can just see the game better that way. So
Dude, I just love that you guys do this, because it just, one, as Kings fans, to have this awesome content, so many great content creators, and you guys are a part of that, and you're helping fans better understand the game. You're helping us better understand the game. It's great.
That's what I was going to say, because we have an instant reaction podcast that we're pretty much doing off of these games.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that we miss. And when I say miss, I just mean in detail. Right. Like there's just these little details that I can go back the next day and or go on Twitter and see you or KFR or Will Z, another guy that just even throws out stats that like lead me to go, oh yeah, well that's why this, so and so did still have a good game or whatever it may be. But I remember even back as a player, I wish I had learned how to watch the game and study the game the way that you knew, like when you were on the coaching staff and everything. And I think about these Kings players now, and I think there's so many years, you guys, that no one was, again, teaching them even how to watch the game, how to learn the game the right way, not just on the floor, but even through the film room.
Yeah.
And you're seeing the discipline in all of these players, and everyone's buying into this discipline because they are like actually understanding what can work, even if you don't have a whole bunch of Kevin Durant's on your team.
Right. Yeah. You obviously need the buy-in, but also the mental capacity to soak that stuff all up as well. And I mean, you look at the additions to the team over the offseason, all really high IQ guys, and you get the current guys, the guys who were already on the roster when those guys came in, and those guys have bought in, and I mean, Harrison, De'Aaron, Domas, the main 3 guys that were holdovers, obviously all really high level players that just know the game and just feel the game very well. It was a good mix. And I mean, look, if you've been paying attention to the Kings offense this season, they've layered on so many things. It's a new thing every game, or at least every other game with this team, where they have a counter that they put into place that they've added on top of their base like concepts. And you don't do that with just any group. You have to have guys that think and feel the game very, very well. And I mean, the guys that we just named that were added to the team, they've been a big reason for that. And also another plug for KFR. Look, if you haven't subscribed to his Patreon, do it, because he's got the entire Kings playbook. He's on his Patreon with videos so that you can see the plays. I mean, what are you doing if you haven't subscribed to the Patreon?
Every opponent, every team, every scout should be subscribing to his Patreon.
Yeah, people yell at him. People yell at him on YouTube comments and like on Twitter. They're like, "Hey, you're doing the scouting for other teams. What's your problem, guy?" and it's like, wait, are you guys not aware that scouts get paid a lot of money to go to games and to scout teams themselves? Do you really think a scout who cared about job security would just go onto YouTube and say Kings offense and then goes to a KFR video? Come on, people.
I would do that if I was a scout.
Make some side money. So what do you? I know you do voice acting. What do you want to do, because you know basketball? Like, do you want to work in basketball, or do you just kind of like doing it this way? You just like
I like doing it this way. It's a labor of love, and I like it when it's like that. If it became a job, because I've heard some crazy stories about what coaches have had to do, and not even at the NBA level.
But you could be just dive into being a content creator all the time, though.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
It's not like it's an easy life.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just trying to understand what he wants. I don't know. Maybe you're just happy in life. And that's fine too. I'm not saying you're not. I just, you're just a really talented person.
Yes.
It's like, you can break down the game. You're funny. You do voice acting. Like,
dude, I mean,
talent.
if I had billions of dollars, I wish I could just pay you to create content all the time. Because truly, like I said, we learn from the content that you create. Kings fans get to learn from the content that you create, but it's so good. You're so talented in so many different ways. So, please don't ever stop.
Yeah, thank you so much. That means a lot, especially coming from you both. But today, especially from Morgan, because it's international.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge that.
I don't know. I mean, definitely, it's probably the acting thing that I want to do long term.
Hell yeah.
It's not easy.
You've been in commercials.
I've done, and I do on-camera acting as well. So I do on-camera and voiceover, but it's not easy. It's super competitive. So I'm kind of in it for the long haul. And, Arby's for now pays the bills. Shout out to my boss, Kevin, giving me a long lunch break so I could be here.
Hell yeah,
be on Deuce and Mo. So big shout out to Kev. Hopefully the store's not too slammed, but I don't know. It's Arby's. I don't know who goes
lunchtime.
Yeah, it is lunchtime.
It is lunchtime.
Although who's got Arby's at the top of their list for lunch each day, right?
Hopefully they're not a sponsor right now.
Oh man. Yeah, we probably should have done some research on that side.
You said who cares?
Jrue, I appreciate you joining us today, man. Thanks so much for coming in. We'll have to do this again too.
Of course. I 100% I would be down. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
And thank you for coming back to the airwaves. Seriously, I'm so happy for you guys.
We'll see how long we're here, but yeah, for sure.
So proud.
Sure.
Everybody loves that you're back.
I do get offended.
You will be here forever.
I get offended because it's like we do a podcast. Is that not good enough for people? We go live after games. It's like, hey, congrats, you're back. I'm like, I didn't go anywhere.
You know what? No. What I'll say, I think some people just like the full circle thing about this either way. It's just so like
he's being nice. Is what
yeah, we were screwed over 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
so
Jrue.
he's cool.
Of course.
Yeah, Drew's good. Drew's on the good list.
All right.
Thanks so
Good
much.
to know.
Follow him on Twitter if you don't. That local guy, the one and only Jrue. Yeah. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Dude, seriously, thank you so much, man.
Oh no, thank you for having me.
Turn off your mic with
we're turning off the mic? We're back, guys. We're back. Appreciate you guys being here.
So sorry.
Morgan
about
was
that.
like, we have to take pictures. That's what she said. It was really weird how she said it.
Hey.
What?
You've been in like a little bit of an attack mode today. Like it was funny, and then I'm like, whoa, it's been every hour.
Okay. You're being sensy. You're being sensy because I'm joking. I'm 100% joking. So
If anyone else feels like I've been attacked, Chris.
So hey, do you know if Paul Wight is joining us on video? Like, or is that
No,
still,
he's in the car.
He's in the car
Mhm.
driving. Dude,
Driving.
did you? Chris sent us this Wardlow. Do you see what happened to Wardlow?
No.
His car got broken into in San Francisco. They stole the TNT championship, all of his gear, everything, and his rental car. Everything.
I'm sorry. Why would you leave that in your car?
That's the first thing you say to a victim of theft is, well.
Well, how everything's going
Oh.
in San Francisco lately.
No,
when I left the arena, I'm like, all right, there's a 50% chance. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't leave anything in your car.
I'm just glad I got a crappy car. It's like, oh, he obviously doesn't have anything in here.
Even my crappy car used to get broken into. I mean, I liked my crappy car.
Drew is great, man.
Oh my God.
Hey, make sure to hit the thumbs up, please. Let's get to 200.
Oh, and we have a giveaway today too.
We have a giveaway, Snoop.
Big Show will be calling that line at
Who?
Cool.
Paul Wight,
Oh, I call him the Giant. That's
who alluded to getting back into the ring, by the way.
Ooh!
Yep.
Wait, we're allowed to talk about that?
I said that, and he's like, yeah, he alluded to it on air, and I was like, oh.
Big Paul Wight
5 seconds.
training. All right, stand by. There you go. You know, when I worked at KFC, Chris Verlon, they had this stupid jukebox, and this song was on so much. You know, just repeat.
How many songs are on the jukebox?
I don't know. I can't remember. They're just like stuff like this.
This is a great
It's
one.
It's great. But when you hear it and it
Every
gets
single day.
etched into your mind, you're just like,
And you're doing like a job that's just like, I just want to get done with this.
oh, I took great passion.
Oh,
in
did
cooking
you?
Chicken. Yeah, I did, Chris.
You put frozen chicken into a fryer, right? Was it not frozen?
Are you kidding me?
Was it frozen?
No.
Oh.
No, I went to a fridge. I grabbed a bag of chicken. I put it in water. I shook it off and I put it in the secret blend of herbs and spices. You want original? I'll give you a little original seasoning. Put it on a little frying thing, dropped it in there for like 20 minutes. Oh, you want extra crispy? We got a different batch of secret blend of herbs and spices. You put it in the flour, pack in the water, shake it off, back in the flour.
Did you make the blend of herbs and spices, or was it pre-made?
So you have the flour.
This is so insane. This is literally the first thing that I heard you say when I ever met you.
Yeah. So then you had the flour. That's funny.
Like this is
It's a repeat, deja vu. And then they had a bag of like secret blend of herbs and spices that you mix in with the flour. There you go. Now you learn.
Okay.
Now you learn. Hey, coming up, we've got a legend, someone that I remember seeing him when I was a kid and going, oh my God, this guy is amazing.
A monster.
And then when he moved to WWE, was that St. Valentine's Day Massacre?
It
that
was.
when he showed up. That was
I
a
think he had
big
a different name.
He was
though.
Paul White then.
Yeah, he was
Paul
Paul
White. And then eventually renamed Big Show.
I remember there was rumors about him being Titan.
Which that's a typical
Yeah.
Vince thing. Anyway, he is now with All Elite Wrestling, AEW. Big Show, aka Paul White, joining us live at 1 o'clock.
Hell yeah.
I was thinking we'd do story time here, but now I'm like, maybe we should save it for
Save it.
I want to save it for when Rami's here. Would you be down for that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rami's going to be joining us next time. No,
I got one.
okay.
I got one gross one.
I
Do
love
it.
it. No,
Do
I
it.
love it.
We got to make him feel a little uncomfortable.
Yes.
But
love
all
it.
of them are kind of like kooky.
Okay. Yeah. That's cute.
No, I dig that. Thanks so much to Jrue for joining us in studio today. It was really cool to have him in. He is such a talented guy. And I just thought it was cool to chat with him, man.
No, I know you and I have been talking about this for a while, just how important other voices on this station and just in this community need to be heard. And someone like Jrue, who is as talented as he is, but has so much fun. You can feel that in his work, that there's joy in the work that he is doing, whether it's sometimes a little kooky, with some of his tweets or it's just like this beautiful, smart basketball breakdown. I love it all. And I'm just so glad that he's a part of this Kings community.
And he kept referencing KFR. That's
Yes.
Kings Film Room for you guys who don't know. So check them out too. Skylar does a great job.
Oh my God,
they
he
do
does.
amazing work. Kings and Knicks tomorrow night. I just feel like that game was already exciting, but now even more exciting because the Kings are in the number 2 spot.
It is. And isn't it a little exciting too that the Knicks did just have one of those games where they lost to the Charlotte Hornets? I don't think they're going to come in, they're so angry, so they're going to get a win. I think if anything, it's like the start of the fall.
Question, yeah. Would you have rather had the Knicks come into Sacramento on a 10-game winning streak, or what happened last night where they had their win streak snapped at home against the Hornets?
I mean, yes, it would have been nice if the Kings were the ones to snap their winning streak, but I like that they were brought a little bit down to earth again. They were humbled by that loss against the Hornets, and now they have to come to Sacramento, a team that has been playing really well, especially since the All-Star break, just got the number 2 seed. And I think if you're the Kings, though, do you feel a little bit more pressure being that number 2 seed? Chimezie Metu the other night on the postgame show with Kyle and Kenny was asked by Kyle, like, what's your ceiling? What if you guys talk about things, what's the ceiling? And he's like, championship. That's what Mike Brown says. And I love that for them. I think that should be the mentality. But when you heard that over the years in the past, you're like, that's not even realistic. Like, that's not going to happen. Where this year, it's like, that's great. Shoot for the moon, land upon the stars.
I'm the opposite.
Oh,
I wish
God.
they had the winning record coming in.
Really?
Because now they're angry. And I was just like, now we can't slip. Now we have to be focused.
Julius Randle's so scary when he's mad.
I mean,
when he's
he kinda
mad,
is.
he gets taken out of the
Yeah,
game. He's doesn't have it here sometimes.
Well,
I'm sorry, it's women's. It's National Women's Day or International Women's Day. So,
Thank you.
well, actually, I feel the opposite of you.
Jalen Brunson did travel he's traveling with the team to Sacramento.
Okay.
So I don't know if he's going to be able to play. Either way, it's still a tough Knicks team. They're awesome. And Jalen Brunson has been amazing. I think he's been their best player this year. I know Randall was the guy that made the All-Star team for sure, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Julius Randle, but Jalen Brunson is tough, dude.
He's brought something different to that team. And I think him being such a tough guy, it's just part of Tibbs' identity as a coach too, right? So it fits in his system perfectly. We know from Davion Mitchell when we had him on our podcast that he talked about Jalen Brunson being one of the most difficult guys to guard in the league. And so, he's capable of getting to the paint, creating, doing so much more. But another guy in their system, Josh Hart, has done a fantastic job since that trade. They were on that winning streak with him there. And it's just, he's one of those hardworking dudes that also just buys into a system that Tibbs presents.
Hey, Chris, I know we had more audio in the daily audio folder, and some of it looks like it's disappeared, just so you know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is there something you're looking for?
I don't know.
Do you think someone did it
I
on
want to get
purpose?
the Steve Ballmer thing, and I thought you had it in there. Did you?
I did have it in there.
Yeah, I know. I saw it earlier, and now like some of the stuff's missing. I'm like, what happened to that?
Did someone sabotage?
Someone sabotage. That's
Yeah,
what
it's gone. What happened
gone.
to it?
See, that's the thing.
Wait, we have to know who. Who? If you had to guess, who do you think?
Brian.
Brian, what? I'm with you.
He did it earlier with our show.
Yes.
We're vibing with Chris, and he comes in. Chris has to go.
Get your butt out of here.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you know what I'm going to do because they kept him so late? I'm going to delete the Steve Ballmer audio.
Yep, exactly. Oh, well, we'll get to it next hour. It's fine, Chris. Coming up next, though, I'm super excited about this. This is one where I get kind of nervous because it's someone I loved growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
Paul Wight. You may know him as the Big Show. If you go back to WCW, you may remember him as the Giants. And then remember when he joined NWO?
I do.
Wasn't for life. He said for life. It wasn't for life.
It was not for life.
No, it's for like what? How long? Not that long.
No, dude, then he took that scary power bomb.
Dude,
Oh, man.
that was bad.
I have to watch that.
We are going to be joined by him next. It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports, 1140, SactownSports.com. I got a tinkle.
All right. Hey, Chris. I almost even text you last night. I just didn't have time because I was like, well, I mean, I did have time to text you going on a rampage during the game I was calling because I was so angry. But then after the game, I was like, oh, I was falling asleep. And I was like, oh, I need to make up a pee song to this. And it's that one Pina Colada song.
If you have to take a pee now,
If you have to tinkle. And so like I'll think of the lyrics. I'll get
but
it
you
down.
can't wait for the break.
Good. Yeah, you like it?
I do.
Okay, good.
I think that's got promise. on
Yeah,
it.
no, and how crazy when I was going to bed, I was like, oh, when I wake up, I need to write this pee song. And then I forgot we do a 3-hour sports show and I had to prep and study for other things that we have to talk about. But yeah, no. I'll get that done soon. Bitter. She ain't okay today. She ain't okay. She'll get there.
Who are you talking about?
Me.
Oh,
Pina Colada song. Yeah.
Chris Watkins' photo that he sent didn't come through for me. What was it?
It was just a photo of the.
Was he waiting?
Yep. And that was at 12:10. 12:10.
He was still waiting. What'd I tell you, Chris?
oh.
What'd I tell you?
Have you guys seen any of the biographies of the WWE legends on A&E?
I have not watched them yet. No.
I watched the one on China last night, and it's like,
was
whoa.
it good or?
Yeah, it's really good.
Dark.
It is very dark.
I was really I wasn't sure about it because it was produced by WWE.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like some of the ones that I'm like, I don't want to watch one on Goldberg or Lex Luger, and even those ones are like, whoa, this is really interesting, and now I have like a different perspective on these people.
Do you like the different perspective, or is
Yeah.
it?
It still doesn't mean I want to watch a Lex Luger match anytime soon.
Well, are you playing his new thing? You have to play his new one if you play it, right?
What's his new thing?
I was told to just play 2 songs.
Oh,
I like his new theme because he uses that guy, the same guy that does the Will from the WWE song. AEW got him to do the voice work for this. You're not following.
not there. No.
You know
It's the same guy that goes, well.
Okay.
he does the AEW version. Of it.
Really?
Yes, it's him. It's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. I needed that.
Whew. What? You are not taking jokes well today. You're not. Just say sorry and we'll move on.
Can
That one you
I
don't.
be honest?
What?
It's because you probably weren't being as nice about my struggles that I was having early on when we started the show.
Oh no, I called a 20-second timeout and said get it together because it was.
And I said,
was
hi,
I'm like,
if I'm
are we-
having an on-air anxiety attack, like, what do I do? So I put my hands on top of my
you
head.
just seemed really like out of whack at the start of the
Yeah,
show,
what-
and so I called you out.
Again.
It's okay, we're good.
I know we're fine, but hi, mental health, like, I'm not okay. Like, come on, man. And sometimes I just need help.
If you're in the chat, we are 3 away from 200 thumbs up. Let's do it.
Where is the big show?
You think he's gonna call in on time?
I do. I feel like, dude, they've been very, I mean, think about it. Will Hobbs.
He was 30 minutes early.
30 minutes early. We had Eddie Kingston on time.
Now he's with Ring of Honor. Oh, of course.
12:59.
Chris is nervous talking to him for sure, dude. Chris, like, oh my god.
That's cute. I like that. I'm excited that we've had all these guys on, by the way. I mean, for me as a fan, it's cool, but for you guys as like, you looked up to these people.
Yeah. Chris, were you nervous picking up a little bit?
It wasn't him.
Oh,
It wasn't him.
feel free to ask any questions.
Oh, yeah. I already
too.
told you.
Okay,
McGruber.
cool. Yeah. Because I'm like,
It was a PR person. Yeah.
probably Danny.
Yeah.
Who's been fantastic.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings are now second in the Western Conference after the Lakers' 112-103 win over the Memphis Grizzlies last night. Kings are currently tied with the Grizzlies with 38 wins and 26 losses. For more information on the Kings playoffs race, check out Frankie Cardicelli's piece on SactownSports.com. Baltimore Ravens have franchise tag quarterback Lamar Jackson after neither side can come to an agreement on a long-term contract. For more info on that and all your franchise tax news, check out Emil Fergosa on SactownSports.com. Now it's time for more Deuce and Mo with our guest, Paul Wight.
I've got chills right now. Tonight, AEW in Sacramento for the first time in history. All Elite Wrestling in town for Dynamite. And then Rampage taping after that. We're going to be in the building. You know, I'm going to be ringside.
Oh, of course you are.
I am super excited to catch up with our next guest. We've talked to a lot of AEW people recently. We had Will Hobbs on, Powerhouse Hobbs, yesterday in studio. Last week we talked to Eddie Kingston. And now we're talking to a legend.
Someone
who's been in the game for so long. You may know him as a Big Show back in the day, or if you watch WCW The Giant. But of course, we know him as Paul Wight. He joins us live. Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, Christopher Laud. How you doing, Paul?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm actually driving into your beautiful city of Sacramento right now.
Hell yes. Well, we're excited to have you, man.
I'm glad to be here. You know, you guys had me laughing playing the new theme music. That's the same guy that originally sang my original theme music. So it worked out. We kept some of the same flavor with it, the same feel. So,
and Paul, right before you called, I was just talking about, I'm like, yeah, he actually used the same guy for this song. When I heard that story, I was so happy. It was really a cool thing that you guys did that.
yeah, it worked out, you know, because that song, my original theme music was so iconic for so many years, you know, and then to carry a piece of that over for this new transition has been great. We're excited to be here in Sacramento tonight, coming off a huge, successful pay-per-view and Revolution this past Sunday, so Sacramento's going to be hopping tonight, that's for sure.
I can't wait, man. I have a question. When you signed with WCW back in the day, I mean, that was 1995. Did you, at the time, picture that you would still be in the business? I mean, it's 2023 and you're still in the business. Did you anticipate when you signed that you would be in the business this long?
No, when I signed that contract originally at WCW, that was a training contract. And a lot of my future in WCW is very dependent on how that first match I had with Hulk Hogan went.
Wow.
Like, I literally, if that match would have been really bad, you know, it probably would have been the end of my pro wrestling career. So they kind of dropped me in the frying pan, and I actually managed to survive. So, but yeah, to be here this long, it's crazy, man. Still doing it this long, still loving it. Still love the fans, still love the stuff I'm doing, Elevation and the commentary, and working hard, training hard to get back in the ring, hopefully here real soon.
Yeah. We heard about it. You're training hard to get back, which is insane to me.
Yes.
Because you've been through a lot with your body, right? Like, and you're a big dude.
I've had 2 hip replacements, and I just had a knee replacement done in August, which sounds like that's the end of an athlete's career. But with modern technology, man, I'm telling you, I feel better joint-wise than I felt in the past 15 years.
Whoa.
So now it's just about getting the muscle stronger and, you know, just having a little bit more fun. So I got a couple years left here in AEW for sure. Signed a nice, healthy contract here when I came over, and I plan on making good on that contract for AEW, Tony Khan, and myself.
Well, have you enjoyed your new role in AEW? Obviously, you've alluded to getting back into the ring and everything, but has everything else been really enjoyable with the new role?
It's been an unbelievable blessing. You know, I know a lot of people all the time talk about gratitude and attitude of gratitude. And sure, it's a positive mental state, even when you're shoveling crap in the back of a barn. It's an attitude of gratitude. But I really love it here in AEW. There's so much that we're doing that I have so much experience from where I came from before with our AEW Together, our community relations stuff, help building brands, helping younger talent. There's a lot of nuances that you only get through experience and time. And a lot of that I can help translate and help these younger talent understand about working in front of a TV crowd versus working in front of a non-TV crowd. Presence as an all-star, having that presence and character when you're dealing with fans. So I'm still on the fastest route. That's good.
Hell yeah. You got an update.
But being able to give that information to the younger talent, and there's an old thing that was beat into my brain a lot from guys when I was coming on business is you always want to leave the business better than when you found it. And if you're going to be successful, it has to be a really giving attitude. Sure, you go out, you become a star, you make a name for yourself, you build a brand, but it's also about building the company you work for, building a relationship with the fans, and helping other talent learn how to cultivate that so the business continues. It's going to change. It's going to evolve. The stars today look different than the stars that when I started, and when I started, those stars look different than when they started. The business is going to evolve, but at the core, it's about keeping those relationships with the fans and entertaining them. I mean, everything in wrestling's probably been done and been seen, but the making of a human connection and emotional connection with the audience is the art form that lets people just for that brief minute suspend what's going on in their day and have a good time.
I love that perspective. I love how much passion you still have about the business. It's easy to become jaded at times with the business, I'm sure. I mean, we face in the broadcast world all the time, but that passion's there. When you decided to leave WWE and go to AEW, I know there's obviously the level of excitement on this new opportunity and all that. Was there any sense of fear at all because you had been with a place for so long and now you're going to something new? I mean, you grew up in WWE.
Oh, I helped build WWE.
Yeah.
Sure, I was, it was a huge decision for me to make. But the thing was, when you have a lot of passion and you have more things that you want to personally accomplish, sometimes taking yourself out of a very comfortable environment challenges yourself. I mean, I was very comfortable in WWE. I was treated very well. I had friends there that I knew for over 20 years, great relationships with the management, production, everybody. I don't have any hard feelings towards anyone there at all. It was just more of a deep down personal thing that I really need to push myself to not be complacent. My old boss, Vince McMahon used to have a saying, to be successful at a job, you have to show up every day like it's your first day of work. Every day you show up with an open mind, a positive attitude to work hard. That's how you be successful. So for me, looking at it, I was very comfortable where I was. And for me, being too comfortable is like death. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I want to be challenged. I want to be pushed. I want to be able to challenge those around me and influence those around me in a positive way. So just a personal thing. I saw a great opportunity with something that really had merit. Because for the longest time, there wasn't any competition for WWE at all.
Right.
I mean, it's the only game in town. So then I saw this company, and I saw what Tony Khan was doing, and Chris Jericho, and Cody Rhodes at the time, and John Moxley. And I saw what these guys were doing, and I was like, that just looks like where the fun's going to be right now for me. And, it's a little bit scary sometimes because there's a lot of new things hitting a small company and a lot of new responsibilities are coming up. But that challenge and adversity really makes at the end of your day all the more special because you helped really build something and make something happen.
Hey, Paul, this is Chris here. I'm a huge fan of yours in the ring, but I have to ask you, you played a role in my favorite movie of all time. You played Brick Hughes in the movie McGruber.
Oh, yeah.
And I just have to ask, how did you get in it? Did you know the type of role you were going to be playing in it?
Oh, yeah.
And it's pretty cool that you were the only one of the surviving WWE guys to survive the movie.
Well, Well, it was funny because, Will Forte is hysterical. And, when we got the script for it, like, all the guys kind of got the script, and everybody was kind of going through it. And when I look for parts in movies, whether they're small parts or big parts, as an actor, you want to find something. Of course, your dream is to find something where you can make the most impact for your time on the screen. And my thought, oh, yeah, I'm the heavy hitter, badass dude that just happens to also make out with his garage mechanic because he's got an alternative lifestyle. Yeah, I'm fine with that because it doesn't matter what else happens in the movie. People are going to remember that scene. So, yeah, I'll take it. I'm good with it. Like a lot of the guys are like, oh, man, you're going to – I said, yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's a part. I mean, listen, if I was in a movie with Jessica Alba, no one would believe that I'm really dating Jessica Alba either. So, I mean, it's just a part, folks. Relax. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The fun part about it is the guy that was I forget his name now because I'm old, and that happens sometimes. You've been hitting the head with a lot of chairs. But the other guy was our lighting director on that, and he was really good friends with the director. And he was really nervous about the scene. So then I kept teasing him in between takes because we did like 15 takes. I'm not kidding you. It turned into a little practical joke. And I was like, man, you've got really soft lips, I mean, yes. I don't think I've ever kissed anybody. And it's just turning red. It was all good fun, but yeah, it was a fun experience doing it. And, I picked the right part. So if they do a second one, I might be able to make the second movie. There you go.
That's a good point.
That's seriously a good point. And it's wild to think that you've done it all. And, going back to just you being this big dude, I mean, you have had to go up probably against some really, really strong guys. Who's the strongest guy that you've been up against?
Oh, this question comes at me a lot, believe it or not. But, I mean, my top three guys are Mark Henry, John Cena, and probably Brock Lesnar are my three top. Oof. Goldberg, too. You got to throw Goldberg in there, and that was early in my career. Goldberg was very strong, but when I think of guys that I know for a doubt that when I put my, lack of a better term, my body in their hands, there was never any jeopardy, was Mark Henry. Mark Henry used to treat me like I was a stuffed animal toy. I told him one time, I said, if you ever grab me like that in real life, I'm going to hit you with my rental car. I'm just letting you know. And John Cena was like climbing on a piece of workout equipment in the gym because he was just so stable. And Brock Lesnar was so explosively powerful that, like, Brock grabbed you so fast you didn't have time to realize what was happening to you until after it was already over. I think that was the one thing that impressed me about Brock. He was so explosive. And so those are probably my top three guys off there. And then you get guys like Kane, that's another level. I mean, Kane is another one that gets into that mutant strength range. So there's a few of those guys that are pretty tough in there.
You mentioned getting back in the ring again. You're 51, right?
Yes, 51 and feel like I'm 35. So there you go.
Why do you, because you've accomplished everything, right? Like Hall of Fame career, right. You're a legend. Why do you want to get back in the ring? Is that just the love for it? Is it to prove to yourself, like, yeah,
I'm having fun, man.
Yes.
I'm having fun. At this stage of my career, there is zero pressure on me. I don't have a legacy to build. I've been fortunate enough to be successful. So it's not about, making tons of money or making my mark on the industry or any of those things that go through your mind when you're younger. For me, it's pure fun and joy of entertaining the crowd, working with younger talent, and building a completely new brand, something that I can really be proud of down the road, that when AEW really grows and really becomes successful and is around for 25, 30, 40, 50 years, however long this brand gets to go, that I'll know, hey, you know what? I really helped build that brand. And I think that's a pretty good feather in your cap. I mean, maybe that's the ego part of it because I want to build something, but at the same time, I'm having fun. Just being honest, I'm having fun.
No, and I'm glad you're still in it because you're just one of the, I mean, I grew up watching wrestling. I remember seeing you in WCW. I remember, of course, your run in WWE. And I've said this to other people. AEW helped kind of ignite my passion for the sport again. I mean, it's been so cool. And look, the journey's had its bumps along the way for AEW. It's going to be a learning experience, but it's just so great to have another brand, to see different types of stars, different types of athletes. It's just been really refreshing to see what AEW has done.
Yeah, it's an alternative, and that's the thing I try to express to people because, I mean, you look at the WWE product, and sure, there's tens of millions of dollars invested in production equipment and people that have been trained for 10, 15 years in specific positions, that work seamlessly as a group synergy-wise, and at the same time, we have AEW that puts out a different product. It's a very high-quality product, incredibly talented athletes in AEW. I don't know if I've ever seen such a collection of talented athletes like we have here in AEW. At the same time, and you have a lot of people that have that underdog fight of working hard, working multiple positions, multiple jobs, handling multiple tasks, learning experience in different fields and growing along the way. I mean, man, that's exciting. I mean, when you show up to a factory and it's your job, you do it well, and that's your job, and you go home, or do you come to a place where you don't know what's going to happen today? You have to be prepared. You're emotionally invested. You're mentally invested, and everybody is working hard to put out the best product they can. That's an exciting, creative environment. It's exciting for the fans. I think the fans see that as well when they tune in. The product doesn't have that super polished feel that maybe some of the WWE things does with all the graphics on the screens and all that. But, it'll get there in time. I mean, we're still new. Believe me, I remember when things started in WCW, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Like, it grows from there. So to compare the two, the only thing you can do is just, enjoy them both.
Exactly.
They're different. They're different, but at heart, they're pro wrestling and they're entertainment. So just enjoy it.
When you joined AEW, were there any wrestlers that you haven't heard of before, or maybe just a little bit, that once you saw them, oh man, they're legit?
Yeah, there were a lot of talents. So, like, when I first got to AEW, one of the things we talked about was trying to get to know the talent. I didn't want to come in as, this ex-WWE guy that knew it all. That wasn't my thing at all. My thing was to come in, be open, be honest, learn the product, learn the talent, and learn the flow. Every company has its own flow. There are guys that are movers and shakers, and gals too that are movers and shakers. And I really got to absorb a lot of that doing the commentary on Elevation. I've seen some talent that started on Elevation now that is really headlining Dynamite. Will Hobbs, you had him in your studio yesterday. Will Hobbs is one of those guys that I saw starting on Elevation, who was trying to do his own thing and figure out who he is. And now he's turning into a top talent. He's well on his way. He's got a good character thing going, and his in-ring work is unique. And so seeing that, there were a lot of people that never would have been on my radar before, but I'm so happy that they're on my radar now because I've met some truly fantastic, beautiful people who work here for AEW.
So is there anyone that you specifically want to get in the ring with, want to work with, especially since you have alluded to getting back in there?
Absolutely. There's a couple of guys I want to work with. I definitely want to work with Kenny Omega at some point. I'm totally fascinated by a lot of stuff that Kenny Omega does. Kenny and I could have a great big man, little man match. Like, I have zero doubts in my mind we couldn't rip the ever-loving roof off the building. There's some other talent, Hobbs, Wardlow, even Darby Allin. I'd probably have to be a bad guy to compete against Darby Allin, but if I was a bad guy competing against Darby Allin, I could have the place riding because he does such a good job of his character and selling and fighting from underneath and all that stuff. So Darby Allin's definitely one. Let me see. Hobbs, Wardlow. The Murderhawk Monster, Lance Hoyt. Ooh. He's another one. So, there's some guys there I can have some battle. Orange Cassidy would be fun to play with, maybe to tag with. I think as an opponent, he'd probably irritate the ever-loving hell out of you. Yep. But as a tag partner, it'd be a lot of fun. I always tease Dark Order that I'm a card-carrying member of Dark Order, and I'm going to join Dark Order. So,
hell yeah,
that's a running joke. But that's the thing. There's so many great talent there that whatever we put together, we'll have fun with. And we have that new giant Satnam Singh who's 7'2". He's a little green right now, but I think at some point, if I tagged with him and showed him how to tag team wrestle as a giant, that would be fun. And maybe down the road split up into a little bit of a feud there,
I love it, man.
But, yeah, that's the whole thing. The landscape is wide open to do whatever. So,
well, we're really excited about the show tonight. And Sacramento. I mean, I've been to a lot of shows in Sacramento, and the Sacramento crowd is hot, and they're going to be really hot tonight because of AEW's first time coming to Sacramento. So, man, we're pumped up about it tonight. So, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Hey, thank you guys very much, and I'll see you guys there. All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Have a good
Paul.
one.
You too. There's Paul Wight. Man,
So
the Big Show. Such a good guy.
Such a good guy, but I love, obviously talking to different personalities from AEW over the last week, and you get the younger guy and Will Hobbs, and then you get a guy like Paul Wight, the Big Show, and just everything he's done in this business, and hearing the ways that he talks about the business, and him going back into the ring with people and empowering others.
Multiple knee replacement, hip
Two
replacement,
hip replacements.
and he wants to get out there, dude.
He feels 38 though. I'm like, my body feels older just listening to that.
And also, to be fair, he wouldn't be the oldest wrestler in the company.
Who?
Chris Jericho is 2 years older than him.
What
dude.
about Sting?
Sting, I forgot about Sting.
Sting,
What about
like,
Sting?
He's like 65, right?
He's 62. Celebrity birthday.
Yeah.
Can't tell with that makeup on, but
No, but
You can't with it off.
wow. Shots fired at the icon Sting. But yeah, really cool to talk to Paul Wight, man.
Okay, honestly though, for you guys, has this been a pretty cool week of wrestling talent?
Yeah, we didn't tell Brian yet, but we're actually now a wrestling show. 11 to 2. That's what we're. Can you imagine? Brian's like, hey, I noticed you guys have wrestlers on every day.
You guys aren't even talking Kings anymore.
You guys are just promoting wrestling shows in other cities now.
They're not even here.
Yeah, there's a show on Rhode Island. Why?
Oh my god!
I mean, I love having them in studio more.
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
phone's fine. It's cool. Can you imagine Paul Wight right there?
Oh man,
he would take up the whole thing.
How many of our sales team would be running out of the building thinking that someone's attacking us?
If Paul Wight was here,
because his feet are like it would just go boom, boom.
Just
boom.
him walking into the building.
Yeah, dude,
with his head coming over there.
And I love that your favorite movie is actually McGruber.
Yes,
and
that's that. People think that's a joke. No, that is my favorite movie of all time.
I think he thought you were joking at first, and then he realized, oh wait, Chris is not joking about this. The other thing about
he knew my character.
Yeah, the other thing about Big Show, aka Paul Wight.
Yeah,
he was over 500 pounds at one point. I mean, just think about how big he is. I mean, he's 7 foot. I mean, he's 500 pounds, and I don't know what he is now. I didn't ask, but I mean, I know he tries to. Well, he talks about it openly.
Okay,
I just remember a couple of years ago when he was training, I'm like, the guy has abs.
Yeah, dude, he was shredded.
Yeah,
I kind of remember that, but it's been a long time.
What was he? What's crazy is so he debuted in WCW.
Yep.
Against Hulk Hogan. Then he joins WWE, and he's introduced in a Stone Cold Steve Austin match.
No way!
It's like the craziest. Like he should have debuted against Kenny Omega to keep the streak going in AEW.
I remember him in Dungeon of Doom in WCW.
Oh no! And the Yeti?
Yes.
Was it the Yeti or is it
Kevin Sullivan? And
oh man,
was that good or bad?
It was cringe. It was cringe. But
Oh.
as a kid, you kind of were intrigued by it. That's the thing about it. It
Okay.
was bad, but as a kid, you kind of liked it. We got a lot more to get to before we end this one at 2 p.m. How about this? Because you guys been hanging with us today.
Oh yeah,
Enjoying it.
yeah.
I'm going to hook up caller number 10 today. You're going to score 2 tickets to see Snoop Dogg at Golden One Center. Yes, Live Nation has got your plug to check out Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, Too Short, Warren G. Burner. It's a high school reunion tour 2023 with special guest DJ Drama. It's live at Golden One Center, August 25th. And you can go if you're caller 10 right now at 339-1140. Coming up next, Kevin Garnett. He had some things to say about the Kings.
Yeah, he
this
did.
year's team. We'll play that coming up next. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com. Be right back.
Well, it's a big show.
Well, it's a tinkle time.
Oh, dude.
Gotta run down the hall right now.
I'm gonna perm my pants. Chris, that's probably your best singing voice.
Is it just doing the well?
Yes. Honestly, a full song of just that, I'd listen. I hate country. I would listen to that though. Oh my God, I'm such a D. Such a D. By the way, thank you everyone for being here throughout all of these chats that we've had today. It's been so much fun. I love when we have full shows to obviously talk to people and everything. Sactown Sports is now Fight Town Sports. Let's see. Oh man, sorry, Adam. Yeah, we were giving away AEW tickets last week. I think we gave away a few, and Deuce will be there ringside. I've got some people I got to meet up with. Oh, and Eric would like a Mo's Minute. Chris is on the phone picking out the winner, but I think he lightweight can hear me. He's trying to do 700 things, but I'm not going to let him do that. No, Johnny, I wasn't calling that country. I was just saying that, like, I don't enjoy country music, but I enjoy Chris singing like that. Let's see. Yeah, Tony says I would love to see Deuce's reaction if Paul had been in studio. Dude, I mean, Chris and Deuce, you guys, these guys were their heroes growing up. I'm not sure about Chris, but Deuce didn't have a father figure, and not a lot of support actually anywhere in his life growing up. And so, like, thinking about turning to these, I mean, athletes, superstars, or whatever, and looking up to them as heroes. It's cool. Does the studio even have a big chair for Big Show? No, actually, honestly, we would put 2 chairs together, and just seeing if that had helped him out.
Real fast, Chris. Oh, he's on the phone.
Yeah, he's on the phone with the winner.
I just realized the Kevin Garnett audio is not in there anymore. So
No.
Hey, Chris, that cage.
He's doing 100
I know.
things.
That Kevin Garnett audio is not in there, and I forgot about that.
That's not in there either?
No, all I see is Darvin Ham and then something that says "spew into this," whatever that is.
That's for
Oh, Storytime.
Storytime.
Okay.
Oh God. Is the lounge at G1C pretty cool? I'm going soon. I don't know what the lounge is. Is that the new?
The lounge.
Yeah, I don't know what the lounge is. Anything
The
that's
row one.
any of those, you guys have never been in for fun, have only been in for shooting a content piece or something. So 'cause
I
we're
mean,
always working.
Yeah, I get the VIP treatment anywhere I go. So
That's
I've
not
probably been
true.
in there. It's
That's
just
not
like,
true.
all those luxury items, they're all the same to me.
What do you mean?
I just go anywhere I want. I'm joking.
You know what's funny?
You know,
What?
Simone and I might have made our way into the lounge.
Did you really?
Over the weekend.
Oh,
yeah.
the Lexus Lounge is what they're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah. Lexus Lounge is cool. Is that the one that's by the King's tunnel? I
Yeah,
believe, right?
yeah,
And what's
yeah.
cool about it is the players run through the tunnel,
You're
and
gonna high
you
five.
can high five them on the way out.
That was a real
That's
Golden
actually
One
a great
Center
one.
is set up so beautifully, like genius architecture. Genius. What?
Nothing.
Well, it's a big show. Darn it. Darn it. Darn it. Darn it. Darn it.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
I'm gonna namaste.
They're right there.
Namaste. No, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Mm-hmm.
The happy hour says I'm going to WrestleMania weekend for my podcast to cover SmackDown, NXT, Raw, both nights of Mania. Sweet.
Dude.
I will not be at Mania.
I know.
If you've been to Mania, like,
You don't need to go again?
I don't think so.
Okay. Are you going again?
No,
Okay.
I've been to 2.
If The Rock was there, Oh, we were at one where the
With
Rock was there.
We were all
were.
there.
Dude, that was honestly one of
Every
the
once in a
better
while, that
manias.
picture comes up when I had you on my
Oh
show.
yeah, the F5. That was an epic mania.
Dude,
That was, and
Seth
we all had such low expectations going
Yeah.
in.
how funny that we didn't even go together technically. And it's like the
Because
day
we-
before we all hung out, and then the day in the parking lot we all hung
at
out.
Levi's. I got like heat stroke after that. Nice.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotti with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings are now second in the Western Conference after the Lakers' 112-103 win over the Memphis Grizzlies last night. Kings are currently tied with the Grizzlies with 38 wins and 26 losses. For more information on the Kings playoffs race, check out our Kings insider Frankie Cardicelli on his piece, The Kings Path to the Playoffs on SactownSports.com. Baltimore Ravens have franchise tag quarterback Lamar Jackson after neither side could come to an agreement on a long-term contract. For more info on that and all the franchise tax news, check out Emilio Fergosa on SactownSports.com. Now it's time for more of Deuce and Mo.
Oh
Yes!
We have two songs all day because the Kings are the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. Drink it in, man.
I like it.
Appreciate the journey.
Appreciate.
The moment that here we are on March 8th, 2023, and the Kings are the number 2 seed. That hasn't happened in 19 years.
Jeez.
19 years.
Insane.
Wow.
No, and that's why I know we've had people throughout some of these wins from other franchises. Mostly it's like Twitter fans, whatever. And they're like, Kings are that excited that they won 30-something games. Kings are that excited that they're in the second spot.
The Kings are bragging about winning 40 games before the season starts.
Yes to all of it. Yes.
Shout out 40-win guy.
Oh, shout out Sean, 40-win guy. I am so excited to be talking to him soon.
Yeah, and it's that when that came out on social media, the amount of people clowning Kings fans and Kings for like, that guy was coming out of a summer league game, get hyped about 40 wins. That sucks. Oh, what a joke. And it's like, dude, you don't get it.
You don't get it. You're not you a Cash fan.
There is obviously some level of self-deprecation that we have as Kings fans, you know.
Yes.
But at the same time, yeah, we're joking a little bit about it, but also at the same time, we're appreciating the fact that 40 wins was talked about before the season. And then here we are. The Kings are 2 wins away from that. Remember how exciting the 18-19 season was when they won 39 games? I know it didn't finish well, and it was a little disappointing finish, but the Kings are 1 win away from that.
And I also think about too the people that have wanted to clown on the Kings, even to start this year when things were starting to look up. There was no off the court drama like there was year after year after year. And then there was like Kristen Ledlow who was on, and it's kind of funny too, because everyone called her out and she like held herself accountable for it. She's like, all right, I was wrong. But she was like making fun of the beam and was like, that will be lit 19 more times.
And a lot of people did that before the year.
Uh-huh.
It's like, hey, let's punch down.
Punch.
You know what else I noticed?
Huh.
Fewer teams are making fun of the light the beam thing after they beat the Kings now. I think before it was like, oh, this is cute. Now they're going, hey, we be careful here. The Kings are actually kind of good.
Yeah. Have fun with that. Shove that beam up your butt.
As a fan, Kevin Garnett, I liked him as a player, but I always remember the 2004 playoffs when the T-Wolves beat the Kings in 7 games. And that was it wasn't the end of that team, but it was pretty much the end of it. The next year, Chris Webber got traded. It was just a different time, but it was tough because the Kings still went to 7 games, and that was Chris Webber playing on like pretty much one leg post-surgery. And so Kevin Garnett just bugged me at times, but I always appreciate the level of intensity he played with, right?
Oh, yeah.
The guy played his first game of his career in Sacramento.
Wild.
Anyway, he does a show on Showtime with Paul Pierce. And here's a clip that was on social media yesterday. Kevin Garnett talking about the Kings and Mike Brown.
And I got Mike Brown for Coach of the Year. You mean the Kings ain't going nowhere? It's real. It's real out here. Listen, if you live in California, you go outside in that little ass sweater, and the weather go, oh no, go back inside. It's too real.
Yeah.
That's Mike Brown. Mike Brown is real. The Kings are real. It's real outside. You see this outfit he got on? You know what I just real.
It's real. You're right. Lately you go outside, you're like, it is too cold out here in this little sweater. This is real. Mike Brown is real. I think that clip too, with the F it.
Yeah.
They ain't going anywhere.
And I got Mike Brown for Coach of the Year. You mean the Kings ain't going nowhere? It's real. It's real out here. Listen, if you live in California, you go outside in that little ass sweater, and the weather go, oh no, go back inside. It's too real. That's Mike Brown. Mike Brown is real. The Kings are real.
I love that it's the weather that's telling you, no, go back inside.
He says the Kings are real. And what I do love about it, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce have been two of the guys this year that have been kind of on it with the Kings. They're like, wake up a little bit here.
Guess who's obviously working at Showtime with
Matt
them?
Barnes?
Matt Barnes. And Matt Barnes, he keeps it real. Like, I got to work with Matt Barnes last year, and it was awful. Not with us two, but I'm saying,
say, whoa,
no,
shots fired.
it was awful for both of us calling or, hosting so many awful basketball games together, right? So we got to go through really bad year together. And then this year, we've had so much fun, not only together, but so much fun actually talking about good basketball. And he's just bringing that to exactly where he goes to his other 7 jobs. And he's telling these national guys, and the national guys are like, okay, I'll watch. They're actually watching. Paul Pierce, when he was like, kind of debating DeMarcus Cousins the other day when they had that show, he was pushing back on what Boogie had to say about the Kings in the postseason because he's actually watching.
Speaking of Matt Barnes, he was on with Dave and Jason today. So if you missed that interview, you can check it out on the YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. You can also check it out on our website where we got a ton of content. Frankie Cardicelli just dropped a piece about the Kings and their playoff push. You can get our interviews there, including that conversation they had with Matt Barnes this morning. That's at sacktownsports.com. They also talked with Kenny Thomas and Katie Christensen. So it's cool here. What was that? Was that Cancia?
I was trying to play the clip of "This Is Real," and then the Paul White song.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. I thought it was good.
It scared me.
So no, it was cool to hear Kevin Garnett say that. Another thing that I don't know if you heard, the Clippers are opening up a new building soon in 2024. They did a tour yesterday with the entire team there. Steve Ballmer spoke about some of the exciting features at the new Intuit Dome in LA.
Toilets! 1,160 toilets and urinals! 3 times the NBA average number of toilets and urinals. We do not want people waiting in line. We want them to get back to their damn seats at the end of the half before the game.
Wait. He is totally making a cameo in one of my new P songs. That is perfect and amazing.
How many?
The Kings are real.
How many?
Toilets! 1,160 toilets!
1,160 toilets, 3 times more than any other NBA venue, I guess, or
is that
the average.
Truth?
That's a lot, but he is so about that. Like, he does not like fans
up.
He wants them in their seats. They're gonna have that big wall of fans too in a section.
Here's my issue, everybody. This is the issue because fans sometimes are just people who are wanting to be a part of something but not wanting to watch something. They're not real basketball fans. They just want to be at an event on a Tuesday night or a Friday night, and it shouldn't be a place where you should be in your seats is the only way that you can watch the game. Chase Center has that concept, and it's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful. There's walls everywhere. It feels sterile. And Golden One Center was like, no, we're going to open it so you can see it all the time. There's fans always in the Sierra Nevada Draft House and other places, but you're seeing everyone is still has a view of the game, of the court, and enjoys the game.
Well, I mean, if I ever get the honor of opening up a building or designing a building, each seat is just a toilet. So you don't need to leave. And
18,000 toilets.
And you're going, oh, but what about toilet paper?
Yeah.
They're bidets too. So you're just there, and it's
question. It's tickle time. How privacy wise?
Oh, yes. No, that's a great question.
Yeah.
We do hand out special like team pants. Team pants.
with
Team
holes,
pants.
with holes
Yeah,
in it.
no, it's Velcro. It's a Velcro pant. They're affiliated with the team, so you just put them on. And if you like the other team, we can give you like a standard NBA edition.
Oh.
You got to take them home. You do got to take them. It's a part of the. And you just like
This-
a Velcro.
All sounds like a giant waste and awful time. I
A
would
lot
ju-
of waste.
I don't know. I don't want to be eating my popcorn and drinking my beer while someone
Well,
is doing something next
We
to
need
me.
fans in the seats to cheer.
Deuce, I don't think you'll ever be making a building. Sorry, bud.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Everyone flushes during other teams' free throws. That'd be pretty fun. No, that's the one thing. I'm not gonna say it's technologically advanced. It's like a porta potty setup. There's no flushing.
It's good that you're setting this up because I have a really gross story in story time.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Final segment of the show is story time with Chris Verlade. Buckle up, Rami. You're going to be in here for it too. It's Deuce and Mo. This is Sactown Sports at sactownsports.com.
Buckle up, Rami. Where he's at? Where he at? It's Tank. How many toilets? Okay, he is. I like. There's something about him I really like, and then there's something about him I'm just like,
I love
is
him.
he an alien?
I love him. The guy's energy, his passion. I think the other thing too, the bathroom thing is real. Like it's just annoying when you have to wait in line for a bathroom. It is really irritating.
What's Oracle? Not Oracle. Is it Oracle Park now?
Yeah,
Why
where
can't I
Giants
think of it?
play.
Yeah, thank you.
I think.
Yeah, that's a problem along the concourse at times. Obviously, it's been around for a while now. You know, they weren't thinking like Steve Ballmer, but it's annoying. I mean, it's annoying if you don't have a good bathroom flow.
Well,
It's
just-
a big.
that's just stuck in my head now. Well,
I love that he mentioned it was the exact story that you had mentioned about the voice.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, hey, if you're in the YouTube chat and you have not hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. Help us grow. Also, another shout out to the Lady Hornets who will be in
Hell yeah.
action at 2:00. Big Sky Conference Championship against NAU. If they win, they're in the. That's the NCAA Women's Tournament. March Madness.
Yes. Yes, it is.
I would have liked to go to March Madness, but I think
But
well,
what?
I'm trying to think when the actual is it the 16th and 17th NCAA tournament in Sacramento or is 16 and 18? Because if that's the case, then the Kings are playing games on the road. So I'll be busy with that. It's so fun though. If you have not been to an NCAA tournament, you just love basketball. It is fun to just sit out and watch a game after game. Game after game.
Game after game. When you look and you want to see some college basketball,
Game after game.
you don't know the players, but you've got a bracket.
Game after game.
Mr. Asparagus says, "Can my son Jonah get a shout out?" Should we give Jonah a shout out?
Shout out to Jonah. Jonah. He said Jonah. Jonah.
Jonah.
Would Mr. Asparagus be allowed in the arena that has the toilets?
Oh yeah,
at
yeah.
the seats.
Ew.
Jonah Asparagus is that. I assume that's his last name, right?
Did you just make that up?
Well, his name's Mr. Asparagus.
Oh.
His son's name's Jonah. Jonah Asparagus.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No,
I
I would
lo-
not want to sit next to them.
Asparagus is a veggie that I did not really eat until my adult life. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my, that's so good.
So good.
So good.
I one time got expensive asparagus from like the co-op, so it was like organic. And I'm like,
God.
I didn't mean to, and I got it. It was like $7.99 a pound, right? So I spent like $8 on this asparagus. It was. I understand why all those rich people get rich people asparagus. Hey, Rami.
You know, rich people asparagus.
No, it's different. It's like
It
thick.
hits different.
It's different.
What's up, Rami? Well, good, man. How are you?
We saved Chris Verlade story time with Chris Verlade for you.
Also, Rami, I just want to say I appreciate you having my back because
Oh.
I heard Nick talking about how I handle the mic and how Chris handles the mic. And
Oh, did Rami have your
Rami's like,
back?
well, you care so much.
He's just very obsessed.
Yeah.
Not just you. Like he's obsessed
Oh, I know.
with
Chris Watkins. That's what.
how Watkins is
Yeah.
holding the
Wait,
mic.
we
He's
should
just-
mess with him. Let's screw things up.
You know, I do grab. I think if I could, I would have just a handheld mic here. It's kind of
I would do a headset.
okay.
I would totally
Janet
do
Jackson
it.
style.
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
you do that, and I do hold the mic.
Yeah. We should totally
You
get
probably
that.
would like that. Do you,
I like this.
so when you do stand up, do you walk with the mic,
Ooh.
or do you like what's your kind of style when you work the stage?
When I first started, like I think I was just doing my best Chris Rock impression. Like you're just doing what you
Yeah.
think a comedian looks like. You know what? So I would like do that, like prowl back in
Yeah.
stage, back and forth across the stage like a caged lion, like Chris Rock does. Now I'm a little bit more. I move around a little bit
Yeah.
because you want to dress like the whole
Yeah.
crowd. You know what I mean? So it depends on like the size of the room, shape of the stage. You want to give everybody a little bit of face time.
Question.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
stand
man.
by.
Yeah.
I have a
Dang it.
question.
Middle we stay calm, we just drop bombs. Asking where we come from, South Coast strong.
Just two dope boys in a Cadillac.
Oh, look at Chris trying to find two songs.
It's just two
Kings
dope
are the number
boys
2
in a
seed
Cadillac.
in the NBA's Western Conference. Deuce and Mo.
Has that been a theme today?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's
The
just
songs have a number 2 in them.
I like
it.
Yeah,
Good bit. Good bit.
yeah.
Good that for a lot.
He's all right.
good.
Yeah.
I like
He's
him.
got something, huh?
He's creative, huh?
We do have story time with Chris Verla in a second. Cattles and Rami coming up at 2. Rami in the building with us. We're talking to him on the YouTube feed during the break because Rami's also a stand-up comic. I was asking about how he works the stage with the mic. Have you had to deal with a lot of hecklers in your time?
No.
Mm.
I've been lucky. I don't. For some reason, I don't. I think it's because I don't do stuff that like would attract a heckler. You know, like I
Yeah.
don't do a lot of political stuff here and there. I'll
Yeah.
Yeah.
throw something in. I don't do a lot of controversial topics.
Yeah.
Not because I'm like staying away from them. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just never been my thing. I think that attracts hecklers more than
Yeah.
anything. I'm not justifying heckling by any means. Go and enjoy the damn comedy show
Yes.
that you paid money to go and enjoy. You're not part of it. But I think that is a magnet for hecklers more times than not. I've had a few instances.
You said you work the stage, like, and I feel like most comedians do, but is it also a style to not work the stage and to just like feel like you're in your own
Sure.
box?
Yeah. Some people's thing is like being awkward.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
uncomfortable
that's
up
true.
there. You know what I mean?
I don't want to ask you. You know Kyle Ledbetter who works here.
Yes.
He's been doing some
He
open
does.
mic
I haven't
nights.
seen him, but yeah, I do know that about him. He's probably been out more than I have. Honestly, I haven't been out
We
in
need
a
to
while.
get you
I
out.
got to get out. I got to get out.
Come on.
Maybe tonight. I might go to an open mic tonight.
Oh, what? Wait, I can't go
I
tonight.
love it. No, but I love that he's doing it.
Yes. No, that's
Yeah,
good.
You've got talent.
My girlfriend has been pushing me, like, you gotta get
Good
out there.
job.
Yeah.
Go her.
So I
Because
should do it.
You're more than just a sports radio
You are.
dude. No, it's true.
I know.
He's talented.
He's laughing at it, but we're
So I
like being
should-
serious.
Yeah, I should. I should.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I did
yeah.
know that about Kyle. I haven't seen him. So
Yeah, I would love to. I
don't know if he's
asked
funny.
him if he does impersonations. He dropped a John Gruden on me, which I don't think you could do John Gruden's anymore. But and let's just say it was probably one of the worst John Grudens I've
made
ever
it
heard
funny,
in my life. It was
though,
made
right?
great. He killed. He killed. This is a good time to bring Chris in for a little story time with Chris for a lot.
love
Are you
story
ready?
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Chris Verlaud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. Story time.
Oh yeah, story time with Chris Verlaud, baby.
So we kind of had a gross discussion earlier. Do you want to keep that going?
Please.
Okay.
Please keep it going. All right. This comes from Sydney, Australia, news.com.au.
Great.
Oh, that's for a different one. Sorry. That's for the other story.
Okay.
If you're gonna spew into this.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Apparently in
Oh, no.
Sydney, Australia, a serial spewer has been enraging residents of an apartment complex.
No.
For 6 months at Redfern's Urban Complex It has been plagued by a person vomiting over the side of the balcony,
dude.
landing on other balconies, furniture, and clothes of people drying them outside.
Oh, man.
There have been several letters left in the lobby telling the person to knock it off and that they know who it is.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't you know where it's coming from if it's always from the same balcony?
The apartment complex did send a letter to the person saying, we have been advised that occupants of your apartment have been disturbing other residents within the building by creating loud noises and discarding vomit over the balcony onto the apartments below.
Dude.
That stopped for some time, but then just last weekend, it started up again.
No.
The apartment complex, there's no comment from the apartment complex or the accused puker.
Dude, I'm not a violent man, but if the apartment complex isn't going to do anything about it, we're going to have a talk. There's going to be a problem. We're going to have a talk about it.
Yeah, you're going up to that apartment. I mean,
yeah.
How many times would it take? Because one time.
Twice
is too much. Yeah, that's what it is.
I would say one is too much.
Well, one, you could be like, okay, someone really had a rough night.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
it happened.
Right.
All right.
Is it a prank or is it like they're just not making it to the toilet?
No, if
there's a grosser part of the story to where it seems to be premeditated.
Oh, okay. Well, nope. I'm gonna go with absolutely not.
I don't think I want to get any grosser.
I had to clean up, throw up one time, and I was just like about to throw up 700
Yeah,
times.
I'm sorry. That is just, what is wrong with you if you're like, hey, I'm going to do this every day? How long can I go without getting in trouble? Dude, second time I'm going up there. We're
what
handling
is that
this.
compulsion? Why? What? Oh, why?
Hey,
why,
no,
Chris?
No comment.
Is my question. Why would you tell us that story, Chris?
Well, that was
That's
just
my
one.
question.
I wasn't planning on telling it today, but then Deuce had his arena idea.
That one makes me sick. Move on.
Okay. Hey, do you guys have any good car ideas?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any good car ideas?
Car?
Yeah. Like, what's a good car idea for like what you would want in a car?
Well, you know, I said what I would do with an arena. Probably the same thing.
Add a toilet.
Add a toilet.
To the seat so you can poop and do your thing.
I mean, it happens when you're in a flight. Why can't you have that in a car?
You know what I saw is have you seen the tires that they're like a ball? It's like a round ball, so you can literally like move sideways into a parking spot.
Okay.
I would like for that to be the new norm.
All
That'd be
right.
cool.
That's cool.
An ice cream sundae maker, please.
Ice cream sundae maker. All right. What about
a great steering wheel that doesn't whiff out of the window while I'm driving? That is a good idea.
That's a good idea, right? You don't want a wheel flying off.
So what was the
Yeah,
idea?
I didn't hear what I didn't understand.
He
what
doesn't
said.
want. He wants a car where a steering wheel won't fly out of the car. That's a good car idea, right?
Okay.
Is that an issue?
Well, this comes from the AP. It appears Tesla did not take that advice.
What?
U.S. auto safety regulators have opened an investigation after the Tesla's Model Y SUV has gotten 2 complaints that the steering wheel can come off while being driven.
That's yeah, that would be a problem.
The agency
I
said
don't even know what I would do.
The agency said in both cases, the Model Ys were delivered to customers with a missing bolt that holds the wheel to the steering column. And in one of the complaints, the owner said it came off while he was driving. Luckily, there was no one driving on the road with him, and he was able to somehow steer it into the middle lane and get help to get his car towed.
Oh, could you imagine if that happened when you're like on a windy road too? Because it's like my first thought is like, if you're on like I-5, you just hit the brakes. It sucks. You'd stop traffic, but at least you have a brake. But if you're like on a windy, you're like just cruising. Oh my God,
You're going off.
You're
done.
Comes off. Yeah, I would panic. I would 100% panic. There's no way I'm keeping it together in that.
I would
situation.
I'm one of those drivers. I can keep it together while driving pretty well. And I think I would just slam on the brakes and be like, nope, don't care who hit me behind or what's happening. Like this, we just need to stop.
I think the other thing that amazes me about like specifically that type of car, the technology is amazing, but for some reason they have like the most bizarre, like a steering wheel coming. You can have a car with all this technology
and the steering wheel can't
and
stay stuck on.
Oh man, what do I do here?
I have a bizarre reaction to situations like that where I start laughing. I just start laughing maniacally. Like I remember it was like literally the first time my parents let me and my brother like out on an expedition by ourselves. My brother was 16 and we had like this old, like beat up car and they're like, sure, you can go to Wrigley Field, go watch a Cubs game. So we get on the highway and we're just driving along on the highway. And all of a sudden we hear like a loud, like crash in the back and a grinding noise and the car like dropped.
Oh my God.
And I look out to my left and the rear driver's side tire is passing us on the interstate with the axle still attached. It literally rolled
And
right.
you're laughing.
And I looked at my brother and I looked at my friend in the backseat. All of us at the same time just started laughing.
And this was a car that your parents had?
It was a car that a family friend had given to my brother when he got his license. And it was just this
my God.
beat up old boat.
Are you sure your parents liked you?
I was wondering, I'm like, did they set you up? Yeah, go to Wrigley.
Take this route too. It has cliffs.
But literally, it passed us on the interstate.
That is insane. What do you guys have coming up today? Are you guys celebrating number 2 seed like us?
Celebrating the 2 seed. We're going to talk about that. Zach Lowe, he says no reason this team can't go to the Western Conference Finals. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Also mix in a little 49ers talk. It's speculation season, with Monday being the legal tampering period opening up. So we're going to start
the legal tampering.
I love that about the NFL. So lots of fun.
Hell yes. Well, stay locked in. Cals and Rami coming up next. We love you guys, but we got to go. See ya.
For the right price. Get the parts